The time 48 degrees. Welcome back to the Action News 5 digital desk. Check out the latest edition of the Memphis Flyer on newsstands now. You can also check it out at memphisflyer.com. It says game on. And that is the story. It's Board to Beers. We're talking about board games here. Board games making a comeback in Memphis. What? Let's talk to the author of the cover story for the Memphis Flyer, Sam Chichi, joining us on the Action News 5 digital desk. Welcome back, Sam. So a lot of interest about this story. First off, tell me how you found out about it and what exactly is happening in Memphis with this resurgence of board games. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Well, this is a story that I've been wanting to do for quite a while. I've been a board gamer for probably my whole life, and my friends and I get together to do it. So I'd always kind of been interested in that as a hobby and as a subject. But actually, a friend of mine from college, Evan Katz, who is featured in the story, he started making games back in 2019, and they became pretty successful with that. So that just kind of got the gears turning in my head. I'm like, hey, is anyone else in town doing this? Is this an industry that can thrive here in Memphis? And by all accounts, it can. I think a year after they released their first game, Taylor Herndon, owner of Board to Beers on the cover, she started putting her idea together for a board game exclusive bar. It's a super fun time. If you haven't been, I think you can check out 2,200 games. You can sip on some beer, have some snacks, and just, kind of have a good time all around. And that's kind of become a hub for a lot of these creators who are, coming out of the woodwork or maybe feeling inspired to try their own thing. It's still a growing scene here in town, but I think if you keep your eye on it, it could be thriving in a couple more years and be even bigger than it is now.
So, for our audience out there, is this a truck that comes to a various facility? Is it an actual brick and mortar place? Describe what's happening here.
Absolutely, yeah. Board to Beers is a brick and mortar location. It's like they have a full beer bar and a little restaurant that can whip out snacks. Yeah, they have a location kind of by the Lost Pizza Company over on Poplar Avenue near the Central Library. So you can go there and choose from all their games and have a good time. And then Taylor also has a mobile game trailer, which she will take around to usually breweries, but I think some other venues like the Memphis Botanic Garden. She'll do that on occasion. She's usually running the shop, but yes, if you keep an eye on their calendar, they will occasionally be out at different locations. So you can walk up, check out a game, maybe buy a couple other games from her. So I would definitely recommend hitting up the brick and mortar spot. It's kind of where all the magic happens. They've got the games, and then they have a ton of other slate of events like trivia nights. They have a holiday party coming up where you make Christmas tree ornaments out of old board game pieces. Just lots of cool things like that. And it's just a great place to try new games, maybe meet new friends in a fun and competitive setting. I've had a great time there. I visited a couple times, and yeah, I really, really encourage our readers and your viewers to go check it out for a change of pace.
During the pandemic, there were so many things that people got used to, making bread and, different playing board games was one of them. I mean, people were playing a ton of board games, my family included. Is that where this came from, this resurgence of board games? Was there other research that suggested that this would do and play well in Memphis?
Yeah, it had becoming a bit more popular in recent years. There's the platform Kickstarter, which many of the local creators use. It's a way to crowdfund your game ideas. It's very competitive, but I've looked at a lot of the Memphis campaigns, and the creators here seem to have a higher rate of success, I think. And Taylor alluded to that in my story. Memphis likes to support Memphis things, so there's a really robust network here that can support that. But some of the statistics I looked up, I believe board games were a $3 billion industry in the US last year, and I think it's somewhere close to 11 billion worldwide. So the pandemic was absolutely a huge part of that and kind of rekindling that interest. And I'm not just talking about games like Monopoly or Uno or the family classics that you do. People are coming up with these really cool ideas all over the place. And there's really something to fit every sort of interest that people might have when it comes to, playing a game. If you want something complex that's 4 hours long, they're going to have that. If you want a simple card game like Very Special Games, Evan and Josh in my story, they've done plenty of those, and for a quick 20 to 30 minute playtime. So really, you're covered, and I think the industry outlook is expected to grow even more in the next couple of years. And I know Taylor had mentioned to me in the story that conventions, gaming conventions, are a huge part of this industry and how people will meet each other and share ideas and do play tests and things like that. And I know she's thinking about trying to get a local convention going, which I think would be a huge boon to this community here and really, provide an opportunity for more people to get involved with this and maybe come up with their own ideas and be successful entrepreneurs.
Fantastic. I love it. I'm so curious at what you were saying there. I mean, a $3 billion industry and something that's very attractive to so many different people. And as you mentioned, it's not those, not just those nostalgic games like Monopoly or the Game of Life or Clue or anything like that. Didn't you mention on the top there's like hundreds of board games there that people can play?
Yeah, thousands actually. She estimated
Thousands.
they had around 2,200 different games.
Wow.
I'm just glad I'm not the one doing quality control on all those because that's a whole heck of a lot.
That's fantastic. I want to show our viewers one more time the cover of the Memphis Flyer here. Cover story. We're talking to Sam Chichi, the author of it. It says, Game on. Memphis's board game community is booming thanks to clever creators and a passionate base. Really fascinating. This, for me, it's sometimes, some of our stories, they can become a little bit on the predictable side. This one just came out of nowhere. What else would you like our viewers to know? Obviously, people can read it at Memphis Flyer and memphisflyer.com. Anything else that perhaps maybe didn't make the story or some background information you can give?
Yeah, there's a lot that didn't make the story. First of all, there are a lot more game creators that I was not able to feature in here. I know they have a large presence at Board to Beers, so if you want to check some of them out, I would definitely go over there. You can ask to be pointed in the direction of their local game cabinet. Um, Another thing is that a lot of these people involved in the scene, they are they're busy, but they are also there to help if you are kind of walking in for the first time and maybe have your own idea that you want to kick around. I know Taylor said she's happy to help advise people, time permitting, and it sounds like a lot of these other successful creators, some of the ones I've listed here, are also willing to lend their time and expertise. So I guess while on paper they might all be competitors, there's room for more, absolutely, and it really indicates that they're there to help and lend an ear if needed.
Yeah, I know, and not only that. I mean, I'm thinking of just team building places here at work at Action News 5, the morning team or what have you. I think that would be a great opportunity for all of us there, not only with family and friends, but also with people at work too. Sam Chichi, thank you so much for coming on the Digital Desk and talking about it. Next time, we're going to have to talk about some of the other restaurants that you visited, so that is certainly on my list. But listen, Sam, if I don't get a chance to talk to you, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you.
You as well, Andrew. Thanks.
Everyone. Good morning, everyone. Andrew Douglas. Happy Friday, 7 o'clock on a beautiful Friday morning. Look at that sunrise. It is coming up right now over our Midtown High Five camera. Gorgeous there. I mean, as we speak, the sunrise is happening. It can't get much better than that. The only thing that can make it better is meteorologist Patrick Ellis there joining us in the Action News 5 digital desk. Patrick, man, happy Friday. How's it going for you?
Happy Friday. I feel like this week has been a week of Mondays. Actually, Taylor Tucker said that earlier. I'm just stealing it from her.
Yes.
Because honestly, I don't know, this week has just been dragging along. And it may just be because like we're inching closer to the holidays, we're inching closer to the end of the year. But I don't know, this week has just kind of drug along, even though we've had some great weather.
Amazing weather.
Yes, fantastic weather. And I think we continue that trend here today, but there are changes not far off in the forecast. And you see it right here. Oh my goodness, a lot of rain pushing across Wichita, Kansas, as well as Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and starting to get closer to Tulsa and getting closer to, well, moving into Fort Worth right now, about to move into Dallas. But all of this moving off towards the east and eventually will have some impact here in the Memphis and Mid-South area. A live look from our High Five camera. This is coming from Northwest Mississippi Community College. And again, you see the colors changing in the sky this morning. A little bit of red, a little bit of orange, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of blue this morning. Temperatures are in the 30s and 40s, down to 48 officially in Memphis International, 44 in Marion, 46 as you're starting off in Hernando, as well as in Cortland. So a mild start to your day, and actually keep in mind the average high is like 53, 54. So we're close to that this morning. So a warm baseline gets us a warm finish today, probably making a run again towards the middle 60s before it's all said and done. I think low 60s by lunch. Southeasterly breezes coming in here around 10 miles per hour and a fair amount of sunshine. What may catch us is later on today, clouds start to roll back into the fold. And of course, those clouds will eventually lead up to shower chances for your Saturday. Not a washout on Saturday necessarily, but I think that you will have to tangle with some rain showers if you have plans heading to do some shopping. Christmas is right around the corner. Don't forget, this Sunday is not Christmas Eve, but next Sunday is, and the following Monday is Christmas Day. So this is the last full weekend prior to the Christmas holiday weekend that you can get out and do your last minute shopping. Of course, a fair amount of clouds and rain showers to contend with. So you probably want a jacket and umbrella nearby. It may not rain constantly all day long on Saturday, but you'll probably have to tangle with some scattered showers from time to time. Sunday looks like a better bet with more sunshine, cool breezes coming through here, and of course the drier weather to go along with it as well. It's sunshine here this morning, giving way to clouds by the afternoon. Temperatures lower to middle 60s. Not bad heading through your Friday, though. Even though that you may have that small hiccup of few clouds, that's not bad. Of course, quiet, mild. Here comes the rain showers amid the clouds heading into the overnight period. This is midnight, some scattered showers moving across eastern Arkansas that will push eastward into North Mississippi and West Tennessee by tomorrow morning's commute. Well, of course, we'll be tracking those scattered showers. And notice, again, you might have one band of rain pushing through here, and then it's more sporadic showers that are developing over in eastern Arkansas as the actual frontal boundary makes progress through the region. So we'll have some sporadic showers off and on during the day on Saturday underneath the clouds, temperatures in the lower to middle 50s, and then we clear things out heading into Sunday. Sunday looks to be a cold start down to the 30s to near 40 and a rebound towards the lower to middle 50s by the afternoon hours. This isn't a ton of rain, though. We're talking like a tenth to maybe as much as a quarter of an inch of rainfall. Some spots will probably fall short of a tenth and maybe a couple of hundredths of an inch of rainfall, but nonetheless rain on the way for at least parts of the upcoming weekend. Now, in the wake of that, remember, it's been mild the last couple of days. We've been talking temperatures that have been well above average and about 10 degrees above average for that matter. Cooler air is coming back into the fold here in the next couple of days. We'll get back down through the 50s, and probably Monday and Tuesday of next week, some spots struggling to get out of the 40s for highs and lows in the 20s and 30s. Now, a generalized warmer than average forecast is still in play going towards Christmas, but it doesn't mean that you can't have some peaks and valleys in that generalized forecast. So we still look to be generally above average as we head through the next 8 to 14 days, 6 to 10 days. But you know, you're still going to have a couple of little dips here and there, and one of those dips is coming in here as we head towards early portions of next week. Notice the rebound in Kansas City, Missouri, from 40 degrees for a high on Monday to the middle 50s, and notice that big blob of red and orange and yellow developing across the northern plains. Well above average temperatures come rolling back in here again by next week. And for us, we will go back above average as well through the middle and latter portion of next week. In the meantime, we're above average today, middle 60s, beautiful day, a mixture of more sunshine than clouds, but the clouds will start to sneak in here this afternoon. Scattered showers for your Saturday. It's not a washout, but you'll probably need to have an umbrella. You'll want to have a jacket as well as we roll through tonight into the beginning hours of your day on Saturday. I think we'll have those scattered showers off and on for Saturday. Cooler breezes begin to filter in here on Sunday. More sunshine, though, developing. Temperatures lower to middle 50s there. Lower 50s come Monday. Upper 40s to near 50 after a cold start. 30 in the city. I think outlying areas will be deep into the 20s, though, and as we get into the start of your Tuesday morning. And then we'll try to rebound the numbers back to the mid-50s on Wednesday and 60 by next Thursday as we come to an end of the fall semester for our students and scholars around the area and getting into that Christmas holiday. Thursday, you know, as we get into next Thursday, that's the first day of winter. Then the 22nd, the 23rd, 24th, and right there at Christmas. Next Sunday is Christmas Eve, and the following Monday being Christmas Day.
All right, so Patrick, you know, a lot of people going to be trying to get that last-minute shopping done tomorrow, and we just got to dodge showers. Nothing severe, but it's going to be kind of a throughout the day kind of thing, huh?
Yeah, it will be one of those situations that you may be able to get around and not deal with very much in the way of rain. It'll be generally light when it does happen, but it won't be necessarily all day long that you're dealing with it. But it will be cloudy, and yes, there will be some spritz and sprinkles amid the scattered showers that we ultimately end up having. I will give you a first alert to next weekend's weather, which we've been mentioning a little bit when it comes down to Christmas. It looks like there's a system somewhere around Christmas. I can't tell you exactly when it would be because there's still some iffiness in that part of the forecast, but there's definitely a system that could come rolling through here sometime around Christmas. It's a warmer than average time frame, so we're not talking about a white Christmas. If it does happen, it would be rain. More than likely that we'll have to contend with going into probably Christmas weekend into Christmas Day itself.
Okay, meteorologist Patrick Ellis giving us the goods on a Friday morning. Patrick, thank you. To talk about the holiday season, the hustle and bustle certainly everywhere we go, no matter if we're shopping for groceries or trying to pick up something to maybe put in the stockings or under the tree. There is a lot of emphasis on getting everything ready for the holiday season, whether it's friends, family coming over, whether you're traveling, the kids, the grandkids, you never know what's happening. And all of that stress can lead to a lot of unhappy people out there. Let's talk about the best ways to manage stress this holiday season. We got Elizabeth Drain welcoming back here. Want to welcome her back to the Action News 5 digital desk. And boy, you're looking so festive with that Santa hat. Good morning to you. How are you?
Thank you. Good morning. I am doing great.
Good, good. I know you are. So let's talk about the top 5 tips that you have when it comes to a peaceful holiday season. Good morning.
All right. So the first one that I will share is embrace change. You know, be open to, reevaluating your traditions. Oftentimes we feel compelled to keep holiday traditions, even when they cause us to feel overwhelmed or interferes with the joy of the holiday. So try a new holiday tradition, and introducing change can add excitement and newness to your holiday.
Let me ask you this, Elizabeth. I know that you are an employee assistance program counselor there at Methodist Health. Are you seeing some stressors already that are affecting some of the people at Methodist? Tell me what you're seeing from your perspective.
From my perspective, I think some of the stressors are specific to just taking on too much, during the holidays, just kind of overextending yourself and overcommitting yourself. So I think that is probably a big stressor to, many of us. So, just learning to, balance, and not take on more than you can.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, learning to say no, can't do it, instead of taking on too many things. That's a great reminder out there for people to just learn how to balance some of the holiday season and some of the things we want to do. What's your favorite reminder for people during the holiday season?
I would say set realistic expectations. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of the perfect holiday with the perfect decorated home, perfectly cooked meal, and perfectly behaved children. But the reality of it all is things don't always work out as we plan, and that's okay. So just try to let go of the idea of perfection and focus on enjoying the moment that do happen, even if it's not exactly as you imagine.
Yeah, no question about it. Just be in the present moment and maybe put away the phones too. That can add a lot of stress as well. Just be in the present moment with friends and family, relatives out there. I know I mentioned off the top you had 5 favorite tips. I think you went through a couple of them. Did you want to go through some more?
Well, you know what? I would like, I think this is a really, really important one that I would like to bring up, and that would be focus on what you can control. Unexpected things are likely to occur. Don't allow yourself to become unraveled. Focus on the things that you can change, that you can control, and accept the things that you cannot. I think that's a really, really big one, because we tend to put a lot of emphasis and focus on things that we can't change or control.
Yeah, that is so true. I mean, just focus on what you can control. You can't worry about everything else that's happening out there, especially out in the world. Anything else before we let you go, Elizabeth? This has been great.
Uh, no, I think that pretty much covers it. Thank you guys for inviting me back, for a second time. I definitely enjoy, coming on here, sharing tips to help, everyone just kind of keep things in perspective during the holidays to decrease stress and manage stress. And I thank you again.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate you, Elizabeth Drain with Methodist Le Bonheur Healthcare. Thanks so very much. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you too. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Action News 5 digital desk. The Salvation Army's national commander is sharing how people can help nonprofits that serve vulnerable communities. We all know and that this time of year, the Salvation Army is out in a lot of local places across Memphis and the Mid-South asking for your generous donations. Well, from the Salvation Army, they say nearly 92 million people in the U.S. have had difficulty paying for essential household expenses just in the past week. Let's bring in Commissioner Kenneth Hodder. He's the National Commander of the Salvation Army, joining us on the Action News 5 digital desk. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's talk about why it is so important for people to continue to give throughout the year, especially this holiday season. Good morning.
Good morning. It's great to be with you. Thanks for the opportunity. You're absolutely right. It's important for us to remember right now that for many people, particularly the people that the Salvation Army serves, giving is critical right now. In addition to the figure that you've already mentioned, we have to remember that about 44 million Americans are food insecure, and that 7 million of those are children. So if we can together right now come together and say we're going to meet the needs of our community, our neighbors, we'll be stronger for it.
You know, a lot of people know, of course, the Salvation Army. They've heard it for years. They know the bells that are ringing outside. Many of our Kroger stores here in Memphis and the Mid-South have someone there ringing the bell for the red little kettles, I guess you could say. Tell us what the Salvation Army does in 2023 and beyond, because maybe some people don't understand the mission of the Salvation Army.
I understand completely. That's a great question. The mission of the Salvation Army is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ and meet human needs in his name without discrimination. Now, that means we're not a single purpose organization, but that we try to address the whole person. So the Army will do something a little different in every community where it's placed. And we have 7,000 locations serving every zip code. So the Salvation Army will do camps for children. It will do food. It will do shelter. It will do clothing. It will do substance abuse. It will do veterans programs. Whatever the need is, the Salvation Army is designed to address it in a way that is efficient and very powerful.
So, Commander, how can people get involved and support the local Salvation Army and their mission?
There are lots of ways to get involved, and I know that Majors Gillum in Memphis would be delighted to expand their team. They can go to salvationarmyusa.org, find out what's happening in Memphis, and they can not only give, but volunteer. Volunteer to ring at a Christmas kettle, which is a lot of fun to do, to distribute gifts from our Angel Tree program to children, to serve food to those who have no home. There are lots of ways to get involved. It doesn't take a lot of time or a lot of money, and it's very satisfying as well.
Commissioner, it sounds amazing. It sounds very satisfying. What a great mission statement that you have. Is there anything else you'd like to mention to our viewers? We have thousands that join us each and every morning on the digital desk.
Well, we would want to say to anyone who needs help from the Salvation Army, don't hesitate to contact us. We'd love to help if we possibly can. And to all of those who are considering whether or not they'd like to get involved this year as a volunteer or as a donor, please do so, because the Salvation Army is eager to make sure that Memphis and the Mid-South continue to grow and blossom in every way. We have high goals for the coming year. We've served more than 8,000 in the past year, and we want to do more. So please come and join our team.
Commissioner Kenneth Hodder, National Commander of the Salvation Army, thank you for all that you do. Have a blessed and safe holiday season. Merry Christmas to you.
And a very Merry Christmas to you. God bless you.
Was driving on 240 once again, and I, of course, I saw another billboard from our next guest who said, "God loves you." That's all, just 3 words. God loves you. And Talisa Franklin is behind the power of positivity that we get to see each and every day, not only on the digital desk when you come on, Talisa, but on the radio, online, and social media, and now on billboards. I love it. How are you this morning, my friend?
I am wonderful. I love that, the power of positivity. You know what, Andrew? I have made determined in my life, I would only do anything that's positive, because we know that many people are going through so many different challenges. And let's just be real. Some people have really thought that the Lord has forgotten about them, and now there's some people, it used to be you had all these different higher powers, but now people don't have any higher power, right? And so I just wanted to remind the world that God loves them.
Exactly. And sometimes it's just, 3 words that people need to see or hear, that God loves you, and it can totally change their mindset and totally change their day and sometimes change their life. So I love that you're doing that, Talisa. That's fantastic. God bless you. Tell us what's going on. I know this is the season that people love, and you're no exception.
And I absolutely love this time of the year. Merry Christmas, right? And so this weekend, y'all, in our beautiful Bluff City, there are so many great things going on. And I just want to tell you, you got a whole weekend full of activities and things to do. So for Friday night, so there's a play coming out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I tell people Friday night is my night. I'm going to support Bishop Lawson with his amazing play, because it's going to be in North Memphis, but it's truly an avenue for people to get out and have fun, right? So Friday night, we have an amazing play called Another Christmas Temptation, right, y'all? It's a stage play. Shout out to Bishop Lawson. December 15th through the 17th. It's happening over at Lake Grove Baptist Church over on Leaf Street in North Memphis. The host pastor is Pastor Sam Mickens. Make sure you get out and let's support local people that is doing absolutely incredible things. I always tell people, baby, let's support them in Memphis. So when they blow up and be around the world, you be like, I was one of the ones that believed in them when they were in their own city. And so this weekend, y'all, Another Christmas Temptation is happening. Shout out to Bishop Lawson for putting on this amazing production. And it's happening December the 15th through the 17th. And I'm going the 15th. So I hope to see somebody there on the 15th. Let's kick that thing off with a bang of celebrating and just enjoying Christmas. Another Christmas Temptation. And then on Saturday, you have an opportunity to do Christmas with a cause. What are you saying, Talisa? Christmas with a cause? Absolutely. Want to say shout out to the Commissioner Charlie Caswell and Director Tiara Caswell of Legacy of Legends. This event on this Saturday will not only be a fun-filled festive event where you'll have hot chocolate, live music, great entertainment, but more so you have an opportunity to give back and even to get something for yourself. And so the question is today, do you have $25 to give to this great event? Because what will happen for your $25, you're able to shop in the Christmas shop for over $100 value of brand new items that has been donated from some of the major retailers right here in the city of Memphis. Why did they donate it? Because they saw the value that Legacy of Legends is doing in that North Memphis, in that Fraser community. And this is a fundraiser at the same time we're enjoying Christmas. There's amazing artists will be there. And what's only thing that's missing is you. You say, well, Talisa, I don't live in Fraser. I'm not going to be able to go over and shop. I understand. So you may be the ones to say, Talisa, we want to just donate a $25 seed and give it to a deserving family and allow them to come in their shop for $100 worth of value of stuff. So what I want you to do, go to the website, Legacy of Legends, CDC, and get more information. But listen, if you're on my page or Commissioner Charlie Caswell page, you already know on social media, we're very active and we'll be more than happy to talk with you. I'm excited to support the efforts of the director, Tiara Caswell. She's a very young lady and she's doing exceptionally well because she understands how to give back and to serve the community. So I'm asking my friends, and you are her our friends, and especially our Commissioner Charlie Caswell friends, let's support this great Christmas with the cause. Listen, there'll be free cookies, there'll be hot cocoa, and most of all, it'll be you celebrating Christmas with us, and at the same time giving back to a nonprofit organization that deserves the finances so they continue to do work in the Fraser community, because we are changing the trajectory of every community in this city because all of us are working together for the one common goal. Greatness is in our city. And then y'all know Sunday, we're finally having it, y'all. Yes, we're finally having it. The Hickory Hill Christmas Parade. Y'all been talking about this parade. What? A whole month feels like it, right? Shout out to the beautiful chairwoman, Miss Clay Bibbs, Heal the Hood, Terrell Munger, and the entire team. Listen, your volunteers, y'all rock. I love y'all. I really do. So this Sunday, y'all, I know it's Sunday a parade. Yes, it's a parade. It's happening Sunday at noon because y'all know with the weather, and we were really worried about the safety of our community. So this Sunday at noon, get to Hickory Hill, Winchester to Castleman, you will have the Christmas parade. And listen, and not only the Christmas parade, the grandstand entertainment is going to be amazing. And one added addition, shout out to Pastor Stacy Spencer of the New Direction Christian Center. They have agreed because, you know, a lot of people may miss church that day. And so we don't want you to miss the prayer that you know that you deserve, right? And so there will also be a prayer tent out there on the parade walk. So if you want to walk over and get prayer from New Directions team, Pastor Stacy Spencer, you have that opportunity. So we know it's on a Sunday, but we believe it's going to be great in the Hickory Hill. As I say, y'all, we're going to have a Hickory Hill Christmas on this Sunday. And listen, if you say, Talisa, I can't get there, have no fear. You guys already know the digital desk is always near. Why? Because you can pick up your tablet, you can pick up your phone, you can put it on your smart TV, and grateful for WFC5 making sure that we broadcast this live on the digital desk. I am forever grateful how we all together make our Bluff City the best city this side of heaven.
I love it. Talisa Franklin, you are in the spirit all year long, but you're certainly in the holiday spirit right now. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. And if I don't get a chance to talk to you, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too, my brother. Blessings to everyone.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. The American Academy of Pediatrics is now discussing the idea and the need to eliminate menthol cigarettes and flavored cigars. There is a possible delay out there, and that could certainly impact public health. Let's talk more about this issue with Dr. Nia Hurd Garris. She is available right now to talk about this issue. So, Dr. Garris, let's first talk about where we are on this legislation and, up to this point. Can you update us? Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Absolutely. There's a proposal to eliminate menthol cigarettes and flavored cigars, and its last stop before implementation is at the White House. And there has been a major delay there. We're not sure why, but it has been a long awaited final rule from the Biden administration to eliminate these menthol cigarettes and flavored cigars from the market once and for all.
Okay, and what does this delay, do we know how long this delay will last, and could it mean for children, adolescents, teens out there?
Absolutely. We don't know how long this delay will last. We hope that by the end of 2023, there is no longer delay and this gets pushed through. But menthol cigarettes and flavored cigars are designed and marketed to children. We know this. We know that it's been intentional that the tobacco industry uses flavored products to addict children so that they have lifelong users. And delaying action to remove these products from the market is very dangerous. We know it's a major missed opportunity to protect the lives of children and teens. And without this action, we're leaving their lives at risk, and especially those from marginalized communities. So, Black communities, especially, have been targeted by the tobacco industry for decades with menthol products. And about 85% of Black smokers use menthol. That's not by accident, that's by design.
I feel like this stuff should have been outlawed or illegal years ago, or at least when some of those e-cigarettes with those kind of flavors, creme brulee flavor and cotton candy, that sort of thing. I'm just surprised it's been this kind of delay has been able to occur. We're not sure, or do you have an idea of maybe perhaps why?
You hit the nail on the head. Yes, this is long overdue. And pediatricians have been saying tobacco use is a pediatric disease. These flavors specifically are targeted to children. So it should have been all one fell swoop, but we are still in the fight to get these products off the market. Absolutely. Flavors that make it easier for children to use tobacco should be off the market, and menthol represents one major flavor.
Yeah, no question about it. So let's talk about what parents can do, what concerned citizens can do out there. We have thousands of people who watch us each and every morning. What can they do when it comes to pushing this legislation over the finish line?
Absolutely. So, policymakers specifically, we need urgent action at the White House. We need them to act now to eliminate these products from the market. Like this is, as you said, has been long overdue. We've been calling for this for a very, very, very long time, and we're so close to the finish line. And then for parents, they should loop in with their pediatricians, especially, many parents have children that are already using these products. So please loop in with their pediatrician. But we need to urge the Biden administration to pass these final rules. They're common sense legislation. We understand why the tobacco industry is against them, but we don't understand why we're not prioritizing the health of our nation's youth. We need to do this right now.
Is there a place maybe online where people can go and get some more information and maybe reach out to those policymakers?
Absolutely. So please go to aap.org/tobacco to learn more about tobacco and child health. Again, it's aap.org/tobacco to learn more. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Dr. Nia Hurd-Garis, we appreciate you with the American Academy of Pediatrics to discuss the need to get these off the shelves. Thanks so very much.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back to the Action News 5 digital desk. It is 8:02, and it is a beautiful sunny day. We are bathing in sunshine right now, as you can see from our high five camera, where it is 48 degrees. We're going to be talking more about changes coming up in the forecast in the next 24 hours, coming up in just a little bit. Right now, I want to show you this. This is a live picture from our TDOT SmartRoad camera. This is I-240 East, right by Airways, and this is the direction headed to the flyover. So this is 240 eastbound at Airways. This is headed towards the flyover, and as you can see, traffic is blocked on the eastbound lanes. You can see firefighters are there along with police. They are investigating a crash, and you can see the spillage over all those lanes there after a crash of some sort. Investigators on the scene. Again, traffic backed up for a considerable amount there at I-240 eastbound at Airways. And you can see traffic running smoothly in the other direction. That's I-240 west at Airways, but this is I-240 east at Airways here. Traffic stopped along the interstate. Please find alternative routes. Now let's get a check of that forecast with meteorologist Patrick Ellis.
Hey, thanks for joining us here on the Action News 5 digital desk. We are looking pretty good for today. Mild temperatures yet again, middle 60s with a lot of sunshine. Though after lunch, you'll probably start to see a few clouds beginning to streak through the skies. And eventually those clouds will thicken up enough that will yield us some scattered showers heading into your weekend. Showery periods, that's your first alert to that. Of course, we're going to talk about this the last couple of days, and the rain chances have ever so slightly increased every day. Now, it's still looking like we could have a period of time where there will be some scattered showers, and then it's in and out of here fairly quickly. It's not a ton of rain that we're talking about here, but again, some opportunities for scattered showers definitely in play as we head through your Saturday. No severe weather risk, and this will be generally less than not even a half an inch. I think we're in a lot of spots less than a quarter of an inch of rainfall across the Mid-South. Of course, you notice, again, a good scattering and smattering of showers that will work their way through the Mid-South as we head through the day. Now, there's two different schools of thought here because you saw on one model, there's kind of a hole in the middle that would include the Mid-South. There's two different storm systems, really. One that's going down towards the south in the Gulf of Mexico. This is going to become a much larger storm system along the Florida Peninsula, up and down the East Coast, all the way from Florida all the way up to New England. And then there's an upper disturbance that's moving to the north of us. And in between, there's kind of a relative lull in the activity, and that's why our chances for rain really haven't gone much over 40%, because again, we're going to see one system kind of pull away from us, one system to the north, and one system pull away from us to the south. So that's why we kind of see a paltry amount of scattered showers to contend with as we head towards your Saturday, but not to say that we won't see rain. I think we will see some scattered rain showers. It'll be cloudy throughout the day, kind of drab, with some mist and drizzle to go along with it as well. Most of those showers will tend to taper off after midnight, and skies begin to clear out heading into your Sunday. I wouldn't be surprised if we have some lingering clouds on Sunday morning. Chilly breezes filter in here with highs in the lower to a few middle 50s by the end of the day on Sunday. Beautiful day in comparison to what we will have to tangle with on your Saturday. Of course, stay up to date with the very latest anytime on the Action News 5 First Alert Weather app. Interactive radar right there in the palm of your hands. Of course, if you got to do some traveling here this weekend, you get the weather information for your location, wherever you just happen to be going, or interactive radar using that First Alert Weather app to pinpoint where the showers are and if you need to avoid them if you're doing some last-minute shopping. Hard to believe that we're just around the corner from Christmas and the first day of winter officially next Thursday. In the meantime, though, feeling more like November across the Mid-South. 64 the high temperature here today. Scattered showers. We get back to normal as we head through Saturday and Sunday. Go below normal heading into early next week as high pressure builds into the area. Now notice the winds are going to start to pick up, especially Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening into Monday. I think we'll probably have some wind gusts anywhere from about 25 to 35 miles per hour during that time frame. And that will make you feel pretty chilly. The lows here, again, for the city, I think we're down to around 30 in the city early Tuesday morning. That means outlying areas are probably going to be down into the 20s and fairly deep into the 20s for that fact. Only rebounding to the upper 40s to near 50 on Tuesday. And gradually, as high pressure builds off towards the east and milder air begins to infiltrate the region once again, that first day of winter could be above average, near 60 degrees with a mixture of clouds and sun.
All right, back here in the Action News 5 digital desk. So you're looking at a live picture right now from our 240 SmartWay camera. If I can get the ticker here removed, you can see a better look at this. This is I-240 at Airways eastbound. So this is headed towards the flyover. You can see it was blocked for a short time. Now there are 2 lanes of traffic are able to pass this area. But again, traffic very slow going at this time. Again, this is I-240 eastbound at Airways. If you do have to travel on the interstate, just heads up, it is backed up for a considerable amount of time. The eastbound lanes of I-240, again, at Airways. Good news is they're letting a couple lanes of traffic open at this time. We'll be checking more about this and just checking as the traffic gets at least smoother as the morning goes by here in the digital desk. I want to get to right now the weird things that have happened across multiple airports in the state of Mississippi. They received some email threats yesterday morning. It led to the evacuation of passengers and employees. This is Gulfport Biloxi International Airport. More than 200 employees and passengers were evacuated. Similar situation in Tupelo Regional. Airport employees, passengers were evacuated. Search of the building began. Also at Hattiesburg Regional Airport, they received a bomb threat. No bomb was found. A detection dog was used in the search of those facilities. GM, General Motors, expected layoffs here, about 1,300 workers. That's according to the company. They have filed with Michigan regulators. The layoffs will take place at the Orion Assembly and Lansing Grand River Assembly plants next year. Those plants were used to manufacture Chevy Bolt electric vehicles. Biologists report several geese found infected with the avian flu in northeastern Arkansas. The Arkansas Game and Fish Commission says small groups of dead snow geese were found in Craighead County. Additional suspected cases have been found in Clay and Poinsett counties. Pediatricians in Arkansas warning parents about the dangers of sleeping with their baby. Earlier this week, Jonesboro police responded to a situation where a child had to go to the hospital after co-sleeping with their mother. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, some 3,500 infants die from sleep-related infant deaths each year. Blankets could smother a child or the parent could accidentally roll over. A survey found of at least 9 in 10 parents co-sleep with their baby. Only 4 in 10 parents were advised by their doctor on how to reduce the risk of sleep-related deaths. Memphis Shelby County School Board will start interviewing potential superintendent candidates this morning. That is the old superintendent. That's Dr. Joris Ray. They're being held. He resigned, you may recall, about 18 months ago. Tony Williams has been the interim superintendent for Memphis Shelby County Schools. So the interviews are being held right now at the Teacher Learning Academy on Union. The search for a superintendent has been rough, with board and community members disagreeing about qualifications. Big news conference coming up later this morning. We're expected to hear from John Morant for the first time since his appearance in a Shelby County civil court. This is also the first time since the NBA suspended him for 25 games. Now, during the hearings that we have been seeing in trial in a Shelby County courtroom. Ja Morant did admit to punching then 17-year-old teenager Joshua Holloway after a basketball game. He admitted to punching him in the face when a ball was thrown at him during a game in July 2022. Over the past 3 days, we've heard from Ja, we've heard from his parents, family members, friends who were all there at the time. We will stream Ja's press conference live on Action News 5. You'll be able to see it. We'll also be streaming it on our website, actionnews5.com. Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Tech gifts, boy, they are always in demand, it seems, for the holiday season. But what many people don't know is that some of that new technology out there also comes with risks of explosions and fires from those lithium-ion batteries. You know how you go on a flight and they ask you if anything about those batteries, if you have anything that's checked in your luggage? Well, you know, those lithium-ion batteries can be pretty dangerous out there. Let's talk a little bit about some of those issues. I'm joined now by Jennifer Williams, a senior research specialist for the Fire Safety Research Institute. Jennifer, good morning to you. So we understand there's a Take Charge of Your Battery Safety campaign. Tell us what that is. Good morning.
Good morning, Andrew. Thank you. Yes, Take Charge of Battery Safety is a public education campaign based off of the Fire Safety Research Institute's work to educate the public on ways that they can stay safe when choosing and also using their lithium-ion battery-powered devices.
Yeah, so, you know, we hear this all the time, Jennifer, when we get ready to board a flight. Do you have any kind of batteries in your luggage and that sort of thing? What does it mean? What does this campaign mean to take charge of battery safety?
Sure. Well, CHARGE is actually an acronym. Each letter stands for a safety reminder on how to take care of their device. So C is for choose certified products. We want to make sure that when you're picking out your products, you're looking for that label from a nationally certified testing laboratory. H, handle with care, only using the chargers that actually come with the device and making sure that you're caring for that device. A, for always stay alert. Make sure that you know what the warning signs are. If your device is damaged, you're sensing heat, maybe a strange odor, wispy smoke, stop using that device immediately. R, recycle those batteries. Never throw them in the trash. And if you have a question, reach out to your local recycling center. G, get out if there's a fire. We want you to use that fire escape plan. And E, educate others. And this campaign is a really great way to do that.
An obvious question here. Tell me some of the problems with the lithium batteries.
Sure. Well, it's really not obvious to everyone, and that's why we're here today. These lithium-ion battery-powered devices, once they overheat, they go into something called thermal runaway, and they can cause a fire that can leave you with less than 1 minute to escape. So this is a really pressing issue, and this is a critical time to learn what to do in advance.
I'm looking at that crazy video you just showed me. Is that from someone just kind of plugging in a device into the wall? Was that a phone? What was that?
So that was actually an e-bike, and this is one of our research experiments, but it's symbolizing what can actually happen if a device, especially one that is not certified or is using an improper charger, is left charging too long, maybe overnight. It can overcharge and overheat and cause a situation just like this. And it's why we also tell people to make sure to not charge these devices overnight if they can, but especially not in front of their doors or windows in case there is a fire. It's not going to block them from escaping.
Goodness. I mean, man, that video's pretty intense here. All right, so if someone has, you know, these devices, these, you know, various technology, laptops, phones, e-bikes that you just saw, what's the best advice for just staying safe and doing kind of the routine measures in order to charge your device, but do it safely?
Sure. Really, the acronym that I mentioned lists out the safety measures, but specifically with charging, again, not charging it in front of your windows or doors. So if you need to take it out, you can. Don't charge it under a pillow. If it's possible, don't charge it near combustible materials. It's something that we never would have thought of before, but our research shows why this is so important.
Anything else you want to mention, Jennifer, before we let you go regarding this campaign and the safety of just, charging these type of devices?
Sure. Well, we'd really love for your viewers to go to batteryfiresafety.org. They can watch our full new PSA video, and we have resources with facts and other information to download and share with their loved ones and community.
Batteryfiresafety.org. Jennifer Williams, we appreciate you illuminating us to the danger of those lithium batteries out there and making sure that you definitely adhere to proper care. Jennifer, thanks.
Thank you so much.
All right, back here in the Action News 5 digital desk. 8:19 is the time on a Friday. And again, we're watching traffic slow moving right now. Interstate 240 eastbound towards the flyover there. There was a bad crash. A car was on fire. But again, 3 lanes now open. But as you can see, traffic still backed up. We'll be checking in throughout the morning here on Action News 5. Want you to take a look here. Car burglaries happening during Bellevue Baptist's annual singing Christmas tree performance on Sunday at about 10 o'clock. Memphis police looking for 3 men. Take a good look on your screen right now. They say they broke into 10 different cars. They were seen driving a black 2016 BMW X6. That was seen later in the evening on Horn Lake Road. Memphis police looking for these men. Please call or text Crime Stoppers. You can remain anonymous and be eligible for a reward. That number is 901-528-CASH. Greater Memphis Chamber President and CEO Ted Townsend says even though the business community understands there's a crime issue in Memphis, he says Memphis is still very attractive. It was a big topic during the Chamber's luncheon there. Those in attendance agree fixing Memphis's crime problem is going to take everybody and every organization involved. Memphis Mayor-elect Paul Young was there. He says there's some safety initiatives that are coming in the very near future. We want to remind you about a new initiative focusing on violent crime in Memphis. The DOJ announced an initiative. It was called the Violent Crime Roadmap, working with local law enforcement to combat crime. Prosecutors tell us it is similar but separate from the Violent Crime Initiative the DOJ announced in Memphis last month. Shelby County DA Steve Mulroy calls for an investigation into his office that are, quote, baseless. State Senator Brent Taylor, who represents parts of Memphis and eastern Shelby County, sent a letter to State District Attorney's Conference requesting more information about agreements between the Shelby County DA's office and agencies that he considers to be liberal agencies, Justice Innovation Lab, Vera Institute, and Just City. He told Action News 5 that he is worried that DA Mulroy's attempt to reform the justice system will allow the crime crisis in Memphis to escalate. DA Mulroy said, my predecessor, Amy Wyrick, had partnerships with outside organizations, including the Vera Institute, one of the organizations Senator Taylor is upset about. He never said anything about it back then. To read DA's full statement and also Senator Brent Taylor's letter, you can log on to actionnews5.com. All right, let's talk about the reading rates in the volunteer state. Statistics show that most kids can be successful readers nationwide, but 5% still won't meet the mark. Fortunately, there are some supports in place to track student progress. Tennessee administers a universal reader screener 3 times a year from kindergarten through 8th grade. It's different from TCAP, which tests certain skills that are expected to be good readers, seeing how students are developing. When a student gets flagged as needing help, tutoring or summer programs are offered. Some students may also qualify for special education services. State educators say the best way to support your child is reading with them or reading to them. Lawmakers in D.C. advancing a bill in support of a retroactive pay bump for service members whose promotions have been in limbo. 400 senior members were affected, military officers affected by U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville's hold on nominations. The Alabama lawmaker caused a 10-month delay to protest the Department of Defense's policy to reimburse troops who travel to seek an abortion. He relented last week. Now nominees have been confirmed. The bill now heads to the House. Let's take a short break. Back in 60 seconds. Back here in the Action News 5 Digital Jess, just keeping you up to date on the traffic issue on I-240 at Airways. You can see there traffic still moving slowly there. This is the I-240 eastbounds at Airways headed towards the flyover. More lanes are being opened, but it's still slow going. Just a heads up as you get going on a Friday. Now I want to direct your eyes to the cover of the latest edition of Memphis Magazine. There it is, an afternoon with Barbara and Pitt Hyde. Certainly big newsmakers, among other things, here in the Memphis and Mid-South community. We got Anna Traverse-Vogel, CEO of Contemporary Media, joining us on the digital desk, back again to talk about the latest edition. You know, Anna, I think my spouse, my wife, stole my copy of the December edition of Memphis Magazine. Haven't had a chance to get my hands on it yet, but I know it's going to be good, and we're going to be talking about this issue. Love the idea, by the way, of Barbara and Pitt Hyde on the cover. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Andrew. Thank you so much for having me back on and giving us this opportunity. Yeah, this was a special issue for us and for me because I decided that I ought to just write the cover story. So I am intimately familiar with its contents. Yeah, I had the opportunity to spend some time with Barbara and Pitt Hyde, getting to know them, getting to know their motivations for all of the work that they've done in Memphis. Of course, their fingerprints are really all over the city in so many ways, some that people may be familiar with, others perhaps less so, and just wanted to get a sense of their backgrounds, their vision, and sort of synthesize everything that that they've touched over the last number of years here. So they were gracious enough to spend some time with me, really diving in deep to really the whole story. And we went out on a downtown photo shoot with them, which was also a lot of fun. So yeah, that's our cover story, sort of give people a better sense of, you know, of course, Pitt Hyde is the founder of AutoZone, but they're also responsible for the Hyde Foundation, which Barbara Hyde leads, and are deeply involved in everything from what will be the Memphis Art Museum to Tom Lee Park to the Civil Rights Museum. So many really integral parts of our community and the places that knit this city together. So we just really wanted to dig in deep.
You know, it's not too often that we see them being interviewed, Anna, and so I'm curious to kind of hear and read, you know, what they had to say to you as you guys took a stroll, and I love the pictures, beautiful pictures. Look like you did the interview on a beautiful day as well. I don't want to give the farm away, but what can the reader gain from this interview. You're right. His fingerprints and her fingerprints are on so many different aspects of Memphis and the Mid-South. But I guess as someone who writes an article, did you want the reader to come away with something?
Yeah, what I wanted myself to understand, and thus also the reader to understand, is really the why behind the fact that their names are all over this city, and and in some cases their names aren't even there, but their impact is. So what I wanted to understand was what their motivations are and have been for all of their involvements. Of course, there are plenty of people who found very prosperous companies and are perfectly content to live on the largesse that confers, right? But the Hydes have done quite the opposite of that. They have really spent the last number of decades thinking very strategically about how to build a more unified and stable and prosperous Memphis. And really so much of their work has been locally driven. So that's another, I think, really kind of unique element, is that they are really trying to funnel the good back into this community. And so that's really what I wanted to understand and just to get to know. Again, as you say, I had the same observation, which is that, of course, these are people whose names I'm very familiar with. I found them to be very approachable and accessible, but they are not in it for, as far as I can tell, the personal glory, right? I mean, they are, I think, genuinely very committed to what the impact and what the results will be. They want measurable, positive results in our community, and that seems more important to them than seeing their name in lights. So I was really appreciative of the opportunity to get to know them as human beings, and not just as the names that are engraved on various, important projects.
I love it, and I'm looking forward to reading it, Anna. Thank you. Tell me what else you'd like to highlight on the December issue. It's chock full of all kinds of goodies.
Yeah, it sure is. So if, this is a swing into left field, but if you happen to be looking for a dentist, we do have our top dentists list in this issue, always a good resource. We also have a great profile by David Waters of Reverend Cheryl Cornish, who spent 35 years, I believe, at the helm of First Congregational, or First Congo, as we Midtowners tend to call it. It's a really beautiful story, and I think you get to know her, but also get to know the community that she's led through hard times and smooth. Bruce Van Weingarten spent an evening at Bari, drinking some great cocktails and getting to know the folks over there. Really, there's a wealth of good stuff. You may have heard that there's a new gallery open called Sheet Cake that was started by Lauren Kennedy, formerly of the Urban Art Commission. And so that's really exciting. And we had the opportunity to peek over there. So yeah, just so much good stuff in this issue. I really hope people get a chance to take a look.
Another one that caught my eye is a new restaurant, Amelia Jean, downtown. And of course, Sam Chichi, I kid around with him how he has kind of a tough assignment checking out these new restaurants.
Yeah, we really like to make Sam's life difficult by going and making him eat delicious food. He is really a jack of all trades. He writes about business. From time to time, he writes about soccer, and he's also our man on the restaurant scene. But yeah, he had some meals over at Amelia Jean's, brand new, and it's been getting a lot of buzz. I have not yet had the opportunity to try it myself, but the space looks beautiful, and the photography is certainly pretty inviting. So I hope people will get a chance to check that out and certainly read what Sam has to say.
All right, Anna Traverse Vogel, Contemporary Media CEO. We really appreciate you joining us on the Digital Desk to talk about this amazing cover and this amazing magazine, Memphis Magazine. Here you can see Barbara and Pitt Hyde right there on the cover. Anna, we really appreciate your time. Happy holidays to you.
Yeah, and if I may, Andrew, one tiny other thing, just a quick shout out to Houston Cofield. I think I might have mentioned his name earlier, but he shot this cover image and many of the images inside of the hides, and just really top-notch photographer to collaborate with. So really grateful for him.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Thank you again for having me back on, and happy holidays.
Yes, thank you. And I remember Houston was a part of one of the stories not too long ago, just about his whole history and stuff. So
yeah.
I remember that as well. So good to see him back behind the lens once again. Anna, appreciate it. Take care.
Hey, thanks for joining us here on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. We are looking pretty good for today. Mild temperatures yet again, middle 60s with a lot of sunshine. Though after lunch, you'll probably start to see a few clouds beginning to streak through the skies. And eventually those clouds will thicken up enough that will yield us some scattered showers heading into your weekend. Showery periods, that's your first alert to that. Of course, we're going to talk about this the last couple of days, and the rain chances have ever so slightly increased every day. Now, it's still looking like we could have a period of time where there will be some scattered showers, and then it's in and out of here fairly quickly. It's not a ton of rain that we're talking about here, but again, some opportunities for scattered showers definitely in play as we head through your Saturday. No severe weather risk, and this will be generally less than not even a half an inch. I think we're in a lot of spots less than a quarter of an inch of rainfall across the Mid-South. Of course, you notice, again, a good scattering and smattering of showers that will work their way through the Mid-South as we head through the day. Now, there's two different schools of thought here, because you saw on one model there's kind of a hole in the middle that would include the Mid-South. There's two different storm systems, really. One that's going down towards the south in the Gulf of Mexico. This is going to become a much larger storm system along the Florida Peninsula, up and down the East Coast, all the way from Florida all the way up to New England. And then there's an upper disturbance that's moving to the north of us. And in between, there's kind of a relative lull in the activity, and that's why our chances for rain really haven't gone much over 40%, because again, we're going to see one system kind of pull away from us, one system to the north, and one system pull away from us to the south. So that's why we kind of see a paltry amount of scattered showers to contend with as we head towards your Saturday, but not to say that we won't see rain. I think we will see some scattered rain showers. It'll be cloudy throughout the day, kind of drab, with some mist and drizzle to go along with it as well. Most of those showers will tend to taper off after midnight. and skies begin to clear out heading into your Sunday. I wouldn't be surprised if we have some lingering clouds on Sunday morning. Chilly breezes filter in here with highs in the lower to a few middle 50s by the end of the day on Sunday. Beautiful day in comparison to what we will have to tangle with on your Saturday. Of course, stay up to date with the very latest anytime on the Action News 5 First Alert Weather app. Interactive radar right there in the palm of your hands. Of course, if you got to do some traveling here this weekend, you get the weather information for your location, wherever you just happen to be going, or interactive radar using that First Alert Weather app to pinpoint where the showers are and if you need to avoid them if you're doing some last-minute shopping. Hard to believe that we're just around the corner from Christmas and the first day of winter officially next Thursday. In the meantime, though, feeling more like November across the Mid-South. 64 the high temperature here today. Scattered showers. We get back to normal as we head through Saturday and Sunday. Go below normal heading into early next week as high pressure builds into the area. Now, notice the winds are going to start to pick up, especially Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening into Monday. I think we'll probably have some wind gusts anywhere from about 25 to 35 miles per hour during that time frame. And that will make it feel pretty chilly. The lows here, again, for the city, I think we're down to around 30 in the city early Tuesday morning. That means outlying areas are probably going to be down into the 20s and fairly deep into the 20s for that fact. Only rebounding to the upper 40s to near 50 on Tuesday. And gradually, as high pressure builds off towards the east and milder air begins to infiltrate the region once again, that first day of winter could be above average, near 60 degrees with a mixture of clouds and sun.
Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. The Illusionist, the magic of the holidays, arriving at Orpheum Theater later this month, December 28th and 29th. 'Tis the season for Illusionists, okay? So this is an all-new installment of the world-famous blockbuster touring magical spectacle, The Illusionist, from various producers, Simon Painter, Cirque du Soleil, Magic Space Entertainment. This is a U.S. tour that's coming to Memphis. It's based off the Broadway production, and it's headed more than 20 cities this holiday season. Joining me now is Kevin James, one of the Illusionists on the digital desk. Kevin, good morning to you. Tell us about this show. I'm intrigued by the video there.
You know, it's a big, beautifully produced, fun magic show for the whole family. It's a very smart show. It's not what you would like consider a kid show, but absolutely kids can see it and enjoy it and love it. It's a great show for everyone of all ages, actually. And it's full of surprises, and it's got 5 magicians from different parts of the planet, and they're all at the top of their game, and they're all doing their best material. So instead of being just one magician, and you kind of have the same vibe for 2 hours, it's like a big smorgasbord. Everybody's got their own specialty and their own style. So and we kind of tag team, and we do some combination routines where we're all on stage at the same time, and we're out in the audience, and it's kind of very interactive. It's a blast.
I see you in the center of that picture there. Tell us what your official title is in all this, Kevin.
So, when the producers first put the show together, they said, we want you to have a moniker. So imagine yourself if you were a superhero. What would your superpower be? And I said, well, I invent all my own illusions. I create my own material. So I think I'm going to be the inventor. So that's that's the character I play in the show. But we have the showman, and we have the mentalist, and the manipulator, and so and we have magicians that are world class, award winners, from England and from South Korea and from Las Vegas, and so it's really a great show.
It sounds like it. So, so how does one become an illusionist? Tell us your background.
I just loved it when I was a kid and just started doing it. I knew that giving the audience, or giving people that sense of wonder that I felt, when I experienced magic, I saw a magician in my elementary school and just fell in love with it. And forget being an astronaut, I wanted to be a magician and just make people feel great. And that making adults feel like a kid again it's a very important job. We take it very seriously.
So, how interactive is the show? Oftentimes they'll call people up on stage and do different things. Is that the kind of show we're expecting to see at the Orpheum?
Well, there is a lot of that, but the great part is that it keeps the show fresh for us. You never know what people are going to say or do. It's always different, and being part of the show, people just love it. I asked for a young person to help me in the show. Like 50 hands fly up, and kids are jumping out of their seat. Pick me. So it's really an amazing show, and we do invite a lot of people on stage, but it's I have to tell you something. A little spoiler alert. At the very end of the show, I ask for a lot of kids to come up on stage to help with one very special routine, and it's very nostalgic. It's from my own childhood, a memory I had when I was a kid, when I first saw snowfall, and it's really a special moment, and it's a very Christmassy moment too.
I love it. I love it. It sounds like a great holiday special. So I understand that through the power of the Action News 5 digital desk, you are going to give us maybe a little demo of some of the magic. Let's see it.
Well, this is not something that's in the show, but it's something that I can do here in my hotel room out on tour. And it's how I first became interested in magic. Believe it or not, it was my dentist, and he, to kind of calm the kids down in the dental chair, he did a little magic, and he took some dental floss and he tore off, 5 or 6 pieces, and then he rolled them into a little ball. Let's find it here. Let's try to do it. I'll try to use my black shirt as a background here, and so he rolled the little pieces into a tiny little ball. Now you have to understand, I'm like 7 or 8 years old, and I have never seen any magic before in my life. And my dentist finally gets this into a little ball. It's waxed dental floss, so it's supposed to stick together. And he takes all these little pieces and sticks them onto this other one little piece like this. So it kind of sticks there because it's waxed. Right? And it's hanging there. And he just blew my mind.
Very good. Kevin James.
Well, it beats a real job, I'll tell you that.
Hey, I love it. Performing magic on the digital desk. Love seeing it. Again, The Illusionist, the magic of the holidays, coming to the Orpheum Theater December 28th and 29th. Great stuff. Kevin, we really appreciate it. And congratulations on the success of the show. It sounds like a great time for the whole family here. Happy holidays to you. I gotta say, before you leave, were there any moments that you ever have come to Memphis and visited our city?
We've been there before with another tour, and I love the food and I love the history. I'm a big history buff, so I walked around and saw all the important spots in Memphis, and just kind of put on a few pounds while I was there, and I can't wait to come back.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate it, Kevin. We can't wait to see you again December 28th and 29th at the Orpheum, The Illusionist. Kevin, really appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Back here in the Action News 5 digital desk, it is 8:48, 49 degrees. Still watching this traffic situation here on I-240 near Airways, headed eastbound. This is towards the flyover. And 3 lanes are open right now out of the 4. As you can see, traffic's still very heavy, slow going due to a crash that you can see kind of in the middle of your screen there in between both eastbound and westbound lanes there. There was a car on fire. The lanes were shut down eastbound and they have been open now. 3 lanes open, but again, heavy traffic there. I-240 eastbound at Airways. We'll continue to follow it here on Action News 5. Later today, we expected to see FEMA agents in Middle Tennessee following last weekend's deadly tornadoes. They're going to head to damaged areas. 7 confirmed tornadoes that hit Middle Tennessee. 6 people were killed. Multiple people injured, and a path of destruction for miles. The Tennessee Emergency Management Agency and the American Red Cross are both on the scene as well. Going through Mississippi, take a look at some of the signs you're going to see there. One on I-55 reads, "Better watch out, better not fly." MHP can show you why. More than 900 people submitted holiday-themed messages for digital displays during the 12 Days of Christmas campaign. 85,000 vehicles travel this stretch of interstate daily. More than 100,000 will read the safety slogans during the holidays. Memphis City leaders are asking for a ceasefire as shootings involving children happen at record-breaking numbers all across the city of Memphis. Craig Littles, that you see here with the Police Athletic League, he's organizing a youth ceasefire summit tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. He says this year they've had multiple children in his program become victims of gun violence. Saturday, they'll search for solutions, offer better ways to handle conflict. He's hoping for at least 100 children to come to the Memphis Shelby County Training Academy near Shelby Farms for the event. For more information, you can go to our website, actionnews5.com. A new Tennessee audit report shows more needs to happen before choice lanes are added to Tennessee's highway system. They're a lot like HOV lanes. They want to charge people to drive in it. The Tennessee state leaders do. The audit shows there's a long list of things leaders would have to check off before making them a reality, like planning, funding, cost of maintenance, long-term contracts, that sort of thing. In East Tennessee, an eagle that was shot doing better this morning. Let me show you this. There's the eagle right there. A special foundation is helping get the bird better. They're already taking care of more than 3 dozen bald eagles in the area, some of which are at Dollywood. They say since September there have been 5 birds of prey that have been shot, 3 of them eagles. Shooting a bald eagle is a federal offense, punishable by $100,000 in fines and possible year in prison. All right, let's talk about the NCAA transfer bill here. A federal judge ruled the NCAA cannot prohibit them from sitting out a year after transferring colleges twice. So this is there was a 14-day temporary restraining order against the so-called transfer eligibility rule. The antitrust lawsuit was filed by Ohio, Colorado, Illinois, New York, North Carolina, Tennessee, and West Virginia. The states also accused the NCAA of issuing waivers for some while denying others. The ruling will be revisited on December 27th. You soon may be able to bet legally on your phone in the state of Mississippi. Of course, that can happen legally in Tennessee. Earlier this year, Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves ordered the newly created task force to decide the best way to go about conversions of legalizing mobile sports betting in the state. If proposed bill passes in the next legislative session, they say you could probably see mobile wagering as soon as this coming summer. A warning this morning about cell phone batteries and the problem with explosions inside a Tennessee home. It's not clear what caused the battery to explode, but thankfully the fire was out before firefighters got there. You can see the phone there damaged during that fire. This is the second lithium-ion battery fire that Williamson County crews, that's in Middle Tennessee, have responded to in the past week. The other one, the family really wasn't all that lucky. The crews say you need to stay alert for warning signs about your batteries and recycle those old devices and batteries properly. Okay, it is that time of year. We're talking about all things holidays. We're in the holiday spirit, the holiday season. Unfortunately, there are some Grinches out there that want to steal that holiday spirit. We're talking about people who like to mess with your packages when it's delivered there on your doorstep. Those are commonly referred to as porch pirates, and we are joined now at the Action News 5 digital desk by Rebecca Edwards. She is a safety expert with Safewise.com, and she's going to talk to us about porch pirates. Rebecca, good morning. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing well. So, how bad is the porch pirates problem? A lot of alliteration here from Anxious Anchors, Paste, and Powerful Post. Where is it the worst, and where does Memphis come down?
Yeah, so porch piracy, unfortunately, is on the rise everywhere. And there's just no signs that these porch pirates are interested in slowing down. The more we shop online, the more opportunity they have to nab those packages. We looked at major metros across the country to find out where this is happening the most and where it's happening the least. The good news is, I don't know if it's Memphis did not do an FBI report, so I don't have stats for Memphis specifically. But Nashville did show up as one of the least likely places for porch pirates. And we tend to see trends across states. So like Florida is a pretty safe state. There aren't a lot of hot porch pirate pockets there. I'm alliterating now too. And California has 3 cities on there that are highly prone to package theft. San Francisco's #1 for the 3rd time on our list. So I feel like Tennessee might be a little bit safer than some of those other states out there.
I don't know. We've done plenty of stories out here, Rebecca. It's unfortunate that the FBI haven't reported numbers of Memphis and some of the issues, but we do stories all the time about porch pirates messing around with people's packages and that sort of thing. Even with these Ring cameras that everybody has, Rebecca, it's still an issue. It's still a problem. It doesn't feel like it's really deterring people away from doing this. What do we do?
Yeah, people are getting a little bit smarter about package theft and getting more proactive, but unfortunately, as you said, those porch pirates are getting bolder. So we've all seen those clips where they notice the doorbell camera and they just pull their hat down, lower on their face, grab the package, and run away anyway. And so what we really like to encourage people at Safewise is to get involved proactively. Don't react after your package already got stolen. Try to do things in advance so that it's not going to happen in the first place. Some of the best things that people can do are change the way you're receiving your packages. So get delivery alerts so that you know when a package is on its way and you know right when it's been dropped at your porch. You can also request a signature upon receipt so that they have to put that package in your hands instead of just leave it on the porch for whoever's going to come by. And we also really like to encourage proactive technology. So like we talked about, your basic doorbell camera is not really preventative anymore. But Vivint Smart Home, who we teamed up with on this report this year, has come up with a more proactive outdoor camera. Their doorbell cam and their outdoor cam have whistles. They whistle when the perpetrator approaches. They have pre-recorded messages that can say, "Hey you," or "Go away." They have lights that flash and have a strobing effect. And what we're seeing in clips where these cameras are in place is they kind of freeze in their tracks and then they take off without stealing the package, which is the ultimate goal.
Ooh, that's good. I like that. Where the Ring camera actually, or I shouldn't say Ring because there's different cameras. Doorbell camera alerts people with a voice and says, "Hey, get out of here," or whatever. What kind of trends are you seeing in the suburbs compared to urban areas?
Suburbs do tend to be a little bit more popular for porch pirates because they're kind of built for package thieves. You've got houses all in a nice little row, and they're close to the street. So it's easy to see the porches. It's easy to identify places where packages are being left unattended. And homes that are within 25 feet of the street are the ones that are hit most often because it's easy in and easy getaway. And so those are some things that can make the suburbs a really fertile hunting ground for package thieves.
Okay, so Rebecca, we talked about people having a recording that say, stop, don't go anywhere near this, or whatever you want to record.
Yeah.
How do we set up a community safety plan or a home safety plan?
Yeah, one of the interesting things, about 50% of the people we talked to who had had a package stolen this year did reach out to their neighbors to join together to try to make their neighborhood less tempting for porch pirates. Some of the things that people are doing, they're finding out if there are any folks that tend to stay home during the day. One thing that happens in suburban neighborhoods is people are commuting out during the day for school and work, and so places are empty and unobserved. If there's someone in the neighborhood that is home, they can be kind of like a neighborhood captain where they can grab a package off your porch for you if it's going to be out there for a couple hours, or maybe even receive the deliveries. So you just have to pop over to the neighbors after work instead of drive out to the FedEx depot or whatever. We also see neighbors using neighborhood apps like Nextdoor and the Ring Neighbors app, which you don't need a Ring camera to use, actually. And these apps are a great way to alert people if you are seeing packages stolen in your neighborhood. Alert each other of suspicious behavior, share any footage that you have, and also even, create like a little DM group where you can, text Sally if you've got a delivery but you won't be home for 2 hours and she's around the corner, she can come pick it up for you.
There's also FedEx has agreements with Walgreens and some of the other areas, FedEx offices, where you can drop off your package there if you're at work or whatever, and then pick it up on your way home. Those are, I would think, those would be some great options for people out there. Where else can people go for information on just how to not be a target or a victim of porch pirates?
Yeah, at safewise.com, we have tons of tips and advice and strategies that you can employ, and we have our full listing of all the cities where porch pirates are most proactive.
I gotcha. All right, Rebecca Edwards, safety expert at safewise.com. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 digital desk. 9 o'clock, 49 degrees in Memphis. Taking a live look from our High Five camera. Looking great. We are bathing in sunshine on a Friday. More on your forecast coming up in just a little bit. So we are about to enter winter season. And during the season, we know that there's all kinds of viruses. There's all kinds of sicknesses out there. And so we're doing our best to try and keep ourselves and our family healthy. But what happens if your child is sick and they say, "Mom or Dad, I'm sick," and how can you determine whether your child is physically sick or if it's more of a mental health issue? Let's talk more about that right now with clinical psychologist Dr. Andrea Bonnier. She's joining us right now on the Action News 5 digital desk. So what's the first step that parents should take if they suspect their child's not feeling well? Dr. Bonnier, good morning.
Good morning to you. Thanks for having me. So in terms of first steps as a mom, definitely my first step is to go to my medicine cabinet, and I always have those BinaxNOW COVID-19 self-tests by Abbott there because you want to test and have the peace of mind to know what you're dealing with and be empowered. Whenever there's sniffles or some sort of medical symptom, you can also, of course, consult with a healthcare provider for extra information. But as you mentioned, a lot of times the kids are dealing with emotional stressors, and this can show up in physical ways. So we want to be able to have a conversation about that as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, because normally, I mean, I have 2 children, and it's like, okay, if they're sick, all right, let's figure out what's bothering them and maybe what we can do if there's some physical symptoms versus other symptoms as well.
Exactly. So you want to make it feel safe and comfortable for them to talk about feelings. I think sometimes this is easier said than done, but we want to open up a dialogue where we're not accusing them or assuming that they're just trying to get out of school, but we really want to hear what's going on in their lives. We can ask them what's important to them, what's coming up for you, what's been on your mind. There might be a holiday party or some sort of exam that's coming up that is really stressing them out. So the key is really to create a situation where they feel comfortable talking about feelings and they feel like it's okay to do so.
What about when it comes to a parent determining, doctor, that there is in fact a mental health issue? Then what direction do we go with that?
Yeah, and this is hard because a lot of kids might not be able to explicitly say that that's what's going on. So a lot of times too, it's important to watch and listen. If you see patterns, you see changes in behavior, or changes in their eating or their sleeping patterns, changes in their social lives. But really, if they're going to take a mental health day or have a day off from school, it's important that it's not just a free pass off from school. It's important that we treat it as a healing day. What can we do to actually cope better? How can we strengthen you? How can we maybe get you additional support if you need it? How can we learn some relaxation exercises or really become more aware of your feelings and how to manage them? That way, when they go back to school, they'll feel more energized and actually like the problem is a little bit more solved than if they were just trying to avoid school. Because when they just avoid and they don't feel like they're working on it, then it gets harder to go back.
Okay, Dr. Bonnier, let's just kind of overview for the thousands of people who are joining us on the digital desk. If their child's not feeling sick this winter season, we got viruses, we got COVID, the flu, RSV, that sort of thing. Give me maybe 2 or 3 bullet points of what we should do.
Yeah, so talk to them. Have those COVID-19 self-tests by Abbott, those BinaxNOW COVID-19 tests on hand. Make it okay for them to speak with you about their feelings. And also, additionally, Abbott has some resources at rapidtest.abbott/BinaxNOW to help navigate this tricky time when there's so much going around mentally and physically.
Okay, Dr. Andrea Bonnier, clinical psychologist, we appreciate you joining us on the digital desk. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you too.
Thank you. Okay, another live look from our high five camera there. Midtown Memphis, 49 degrees, 9:05. Back in 60 seconds with your forecast.
Hey, thanks for joining us here on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. We are looking pretty good for today. Mild temperatures yet again, middle 60s with a lot of sunshine. Though after lunch, you'll probably start to see a few clouds beginning to streak through the skies. And eventually those clouds will thicken up enough that will yield us some scattered showers heading into your weekend. Showery periods, that's your first alert to that. Of course, we're going to talk about this the last couple of days, and the rain chances have ever so slightly increased every day. Now, it's still looking like we could have a period of time where there will be some scattered showers, and then it's in and out of here fairly quickly. It's not a ton of rain that we're talking about here, but again, some opportunities for scattered showers definitely in play as we head through your Saturday. No severe weather risk, and this will be generally less than not even a half an inch. I think we're in a lot of spots less than a quarter of an inch of rainfall across the Mid-South. Of course, you notice, again, a good scattering and smattering of showers that will work their way through the Mid-South as we head through the day. Now, there's two different schools of thought here because you saw on one model, there's kind of a hole in the middle that would include the Mid-South. There's two different storm systems, really. One that's going down towards the south in the Gulf of Mexico. This is going to become a much larger storm system along the Florida Peninsula, up and down the East Coast, all the way from Florida all the way up to New England. And then there's an upper disturbance that's moving to the north of us. And in between, there's kind of a relative lull in the activity, and that's why our chances for rain really haven't gone much over 40%, because again, we're going to see one system kind of pull away from us, one system to the north, and one system pull away from us to the south. So that's why we kind of see a paltry amount of scattered showers to contend with as we head towards your Saturday, but not to say that we won't see rain. I think we will see some scattered rain showers. It'll be cloudy throughout the day, kind of drab, with some mist and drizzle to go along with it as well. Most of those showers will tend to taper off after midnight, and skies begin to clear out heading into your Sunday. I wouldn't be surprised if we have some lingering clouds on Sunday morning. Chilly breezes filter in here with highs in the lower to a few middle 50s by the end of the day on Sunday. Beautiful day in comparison to what we will have to tangle with on your Saturday. Of course, stay up to date with the very latest anytime on the Action News 5 First Alert Weather app. Interactive radar right there in the palm of your hands. Of course, if you got to do some traveling here this weekend, you get the weather information for your location, wherever you just happen to be going, or interactive radar using that First Alert Weather app to pinpoint where the showers are and if you need to avoid them if you're doing some last-minute shopping. Hard to believe that we're just around the corner from Christmas and the first day of winter officially next Thursday. In the meantime, though, feeling more like November across the Mid-South. 64 the high temperature here today. Scattered showers. We get back to normal as we head through Saturday and Sunday. Go below normal heading into early next week as high pressure builds into the area. Now notice the winds are going to start to pick up, especially Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening into Monday. I think we'll probably have some wind gusts anywhere from about 25 to 35 miles per hour during that time frame. And that will make you feel pretty chilly. The lows here, again, for the city, I think we're down to around 30 in the city early Tuesday morning. That means outlying areas are probably going to be down into the 20s and fairly deep into the 20s for that fact. Only rebounding to the upper 40s to near 50 on Tuesday. And gradually, as high pressure builds off towards the east and milder air begins to infiltrate the region once again, that first day of winter could be above average, near 60 degrees with a mixture of clouds and sun.
Right now, I want to talk about 2023 and the year that was when it comes to Google searches. We learned so much about what has happened over the past year when you think about Google and the searches that we all made throughout the months leading up to December here. I'm joined now by Alex Joseph. He is a Google Trends expert. He's joining us on the digital desk to kind of go through those search lists to reveal some of the trends that fascinated the world of 2023. Alex, good morning to you. Tell us what, you guys see all this stuff all the time. You guys deal with all kinds of analytics. You see all this data. What fascinated you the most when you were looking at some of these trends for the last month, the last few months, the last year?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. We'll start with the news category. One thing that was pretty shocking to me, but really interesting, was that we saw extreme weather events for 5 of the top 10 news stories this year for people searching in the United States. This was hurricanes and wildfires. But what's interesting is people were coming to Google not just to search for news about those events, but we also saw them searching for ways to prepare, ways to recover, and ways to help other people. And so that how can they donate, how can they give back during these natural disasters.
Yeah, and even outside of the news category, Alex, you can see where the various headlines went. I mean, looking at some of the top athletes, Damar Hamlin and his cardiac situation that happened on the field, that certainly made a lot of headlines. The people, like people who have passed, Matthew Perry, that wasn't that long ago. Of course, that was a big searcher, and it certainly made a ton of headlines as well. Something else that I thought was interesting is the books list. Because that doesn't get all that much play. What do you think influences that the most?
Yeah, I think a lot of people come to Google not just to find information, but actually to do some comparison shopping, right? And to find out where they can purchase something nearby, where the best price is. So right from within Google search results, you can figure out where you can buy something day of, how close it is, pick it up. And so I think that's one of the things people look for when they're looking for a book, is sometimes they just want to get their hands on it quickly. Also, we saw some crossover events. So, for example, Red, White, and Royal Blue was a fun kind of beach pulp read, but it also had an Amazon miniseries movie event that tied into it. So people were not only searching for the book, but searching more about the movie itself.
I love the how often category. That seems to be relatively new, where we're talking about people searching how often and then whatever else comes next. How often do you think about the Roman Empire? How often is the World Baseball Classic? How often is a blue moon? How often is Punxsutawney Phil correct?
Well, and this is something we see people search for these queries about news events that happen routinely, right? Again, so how often is a full moon? How often is the blue moon? What was really funny this year was this: how often do people think about the Roman Empire? It was actually a viral trend where women would ask their boyfriend how often they think about the Roman Empire, and their boyfriends would say, I think about it every day. And so it became this what is your Roman Empire trend of people saying, what is that thing that you think about every single day that might reveal a little bit more about your personality, your friends, your loved ones, your family? What is their Roman Empire? And it became something that just captured popular imagination. It was actually a skit on SNL where there was a parody of just how much men think about the Roman Empire, apparently.
That's wild. Wow. Google Trends and searches going to SNL. Pretty cool stuff. Looking at the recipe ones, okay, you think, apple pie and, pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving. No, like, these are the weirdest lists I've ever seen. Grimace shake, lasagna soup, chicken cobbler, black cake, cowboy butter, Brazilian lemonade, cottage cheese ice cream. Alex, what is happening?
And this is something that we're seeing a little bit of internet culture bleeding into just our popular culture, right? So, for example, Grimace shake was a item that McDonald's put on their menu this year. It was purple, it was berry, it was full of sugar. And people would film themselves going and having a Grimace shake and having kind of like crazy reactions, full of energy to them. And it became a viral meme. Well, when McDonald's no longer was offering a Grimace shake, people started turning to Google to say, what's the recipe for a Grimace shake? I want to have one of these. And it became the #1 most searched for recipe this year. Similarly, Black Cake is a book. It was made into a movie and series that's streaming on TV right now, and it's a recipe. So we saw people kind of seeing a lot of crossover, and that's what propelled that up to one of the top searches.
Yeah, so Alex, memes are a part of our culture as well, and you have a whole category of memes. Kevin James, Ohio, Police Girl, Folding Chair, Smurf Cat, the Waffle House new host. Some interesting ones there.
Yeah, I mean, and again, like this is just like one of the fun things that you get to learn more about what just kind of captures our imagination. For example, Kevin James obviously is from King of Queens. This is a show that hasn't been on the air for quite a while, but there's just a meme of him kind of like shirking in a corner with shrugging his shoulders, looking a little pensive. And people started using that as a way to describe the way they were feeling. They were sending it back and forth. There were text messages, but people were searching for this image because they wanted to use it in their conversation in a way to express themselves. So it became the #1 search for meme on all of Google.
Yeah, that is cool. Before we let you go, anything else, Alex, that you thought was a little bit out of the ordinary or extraordinary?
Well, one of the things we did that was extraordinary this year is it's our 25th birthday at Google. So we looked at the past 25 years and said, what are the most searched for of all 25 years? Normally we're looking at a breakout search. So what is searched for in 1 year more than it was in the past, years before it? But someone like Taylor Swift is popular every single year. And so she sometimes doesn't make the list, but she is, the most searched for songwriter of all time on Google. We looked at the most searched for athlete of all time in the last 25 years that we've been around was Cristiano Ronaldo. Boy bands and girl bands, K-pop dominated. So BTS and Blackpink, they were the most searched for. You can find all of these and more at earinsearch.google, where you can see these all-time high searches.
I love that. I love that. People can check it out for themselves, certainly. Alex Joseph, really appreciate you breaking down the list for us here on the Digital Desk. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about the holidays for a minute, because the holidays we tend to overindulge, whether it's food, drink, fun, everything, okay? Maybe not sleep, and maybe not healthy habits, right? Because the holidays, we like everything in excess, I should say. So nearly 15 million children and adolescents in the U.S. struggle with obesity. And then when you think about the holidays and where we overeat on sweets and holiday candy, that can be very problematic. So let's talk about ways as we enter into this, truly the heart of the holiday season, ways to make sure our mindset is right when it comes to healthy eating and healthy living. Let's bring in someone to help us through this. Dr. Julia Olandriou is joining us on the Digital Desk to talk more about healthy eating, healthy conversations with your children, with your family. Julia, good morning to you. Where should we start with this conversation? Because it's kind of a broad brush there of trying to eat healthy during the holidays. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. Yes, it's really a broad topic, but it's also a very, very important one, as you mentioned. I think it's important to start with making sure that this conversation starts from a good place, not making people feel, especially children, being careful about how we talk about food and health in a way that does not talk down or downplay how they feel about what they eat. So it's important to ensure that we are mindful of the mental health of our children and our family members as we talk about this very important issue. So one of the key things is starting from a place of avoiding negative association when it comes to food and health. Especially a lot of people, when they talk about food, they come in from a very negative angle. So it's important to highlight this important topic from a positive angle. And then when we talk about children, or talk to children about this, and when we talk about their perspective, it's also important to make it fun and engaging. So we start from the angle of, yes, this is something that's really important to your overall well-being, but we want you to enjoy it. We want you to have fun while you do it as well. So what about creating projects around food, creating something healthy and nourishing that they can enjoy? Or when you're traveling, planning ahead so that you don't come to a place where last minute you have to improvise with anything you find, which most times it's not particularly the most healthy option. So some little steps here and there will go a long way to have conversations that are educational, that are positive, and have the right impact on children. Finally, I think it's important for children to know why, rather than inform them about what you're doing and what you want them to do or what they should be eating. Help them understand why those choices matter, educating them and bringing in the science behind some of the choices that they make and how those choices influence their health or impact their health overall. Those are some angles we could take when it comes to conversation around food and health.
So let me throw out some examples. So, there's holidays, of course, I mean, candy canes, chocolates, casseroles, pies, cakes, eggnog, all things that are probably not the healthiest for us, but we love them. Our kids really love them. If those sweets and cookies, by the way, how do we manage that aspect to the holidays? We got people coming in from out of town, people coming in, bringing in cakes of their own to be a part of the holiday feast. I mean, how do we tell our kids, hey, wait a second, don't have all those cookies, don't have all those candies, chocolates, that sort of thing? What's the best way to combat that in the moment?
Right. So as a parent myself, that's some questions I've had to ask. And I remember one day I was talking to my son about this, and he said something very interesting. He said, parents should not provide what they don't want their kids to eat. And when I think about the holidays, I've seen different videos, short videos of people creating healthy delicacies with their children. There was one particular one. It was a Christmas tree made out of strawberries, grapes, and carrots, and it looked so pretty. That's an example of a small project people can do with their kids. So instead of buying so much candy, so much cookies, and having to tell them, oh, have a few of those, have little of this, how about creating a new tradition and bringing something that is really nourishing to the table in the form of a project and working on it together? So an example is the one I just talked about, of parents creating a Christmas tree out of different types of fruit that the kids love. And you can even ask the kids to pick the fruits, some of their favorite fruits, pick it up and let's do this together. Or about making cookies, and let's see how we can reduce the amount of this and amount of this. Let's work on this project together. Let's see what we come up with. It's an activity that they get curious about, they get excited about. And when they make something, they're part of making something, they want to try it, they're excited to try it. So it's a gradual process. It's not a one-time thing, but it's a gradual process of moving from what used to be or what is now to what we really want it to be. And if we know and we're so convinced about how important our choices impact our overall well-being and our overall health, then we'll start making those steps today. It could be baby steps, but they all add up over time. So that's one way we can approach what you were just talking about.
I like those. I like that idea. Nice projects, that are healthier. What about the language with your children? I know that the language, you said a little bit of mental health off the top of our discussion, but I would think language is key to making sure that kids, have that healthy mindset, when they think about the holidays.
Sure. I believe that language is very, very important. And there are different ways in which we can approach this. One of the things that are being communicated from academic communities and even with pediatricians, been talking about all this, all the dynamics around obesity today is making sure that when you communicate with children, we come in from a very positive angle. And of course, when you want to talk about food, we could say, "Oh, that food is terrible," or "That food is," you just explain and talk about how terrible the food is. But we can also come up with a conversation and say, "Oh, I tried this yesterday and it was really, really good. Do you want to try it?" It's still trying to nudge them away from what they love eating and try to bring their attention to what you want them to eat without having to talk down or make a negative association with what they love for it.
Anything else you want to mention before we let you go, Julia?
Yes, I just believe that when we think about ourselves and we think about our health, it's important to think deeply about what we're nourishing ourselves with, because whatever we put into our bodies overall influences our health outcomes, not just on the short term, it influences our health outcomes on the long term. So it's very important for people to be very intentional about how they're nourishing their body every single day. Just think about it. Every time you sit down to meal, whether it's during the holidays or after the holidays or even before the holidays, thinking about every single thing you feed yourself with. Am I adding value to myself every single day? Am I nourishing myself every single day? That's one thought I want to leave people with today.
Okay, Julia Olarenju, we really appreciate the conversation. Very important conversation to have this time of year. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, thanks for joining us here on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. We are looking pretty good for today. Mild temperatures yet again, middle 60s with a lot of sunshine. Though after lunch, you'll probably start to see a few clouds beginning to streak through the skies. And eventually those clouds will thicken up enough that will yield us some scattered showers heading into your weekend. Showery periods, that's your first alert to that. Of course, we're going to talk about this the last couple of days, and the rain chances have ever so slightly increased every day. Now, it's still looking like we could have a period of time where there will be some scattered showers, and then it's in and out of here fairly quickly. It's not a ton of rain that we're talking about here, but again, some opportunities for scattered showers definitely in play as we head through your Saturday. No severe weather risk, and this will be generally less than not even a half an inch. I think we're in a lot of spots less than a quarter of an inch of rainfall across the Mid-South. Of course, you notice, again, a good scattering and smattering of showers that will work their way through the Mid-South as we head through the day. Now, there's two different schools of thought here because you saw on one model, there's kind of a hole in the middle that would include the Mid-South. There's two different storm systems, really. One that's going down towards the south in the Gulf of Mexico. This is going to become a much larger storm system along the Florida Peninsula, up and down the East Coast, all the way from Florida all the way up to New England. And then there's an upper disturbance that's moving to the north of us. And in between, there's kind of a relative lull in the activity, and that's why our chances for rain really haven't gone much over 40%, because again, we're going to see one system kind of pull away from us, one system to the north, and one system pull away from us to the south. So that's why we kind of see a paltry amount of scattered showers to contend with as we head towards your Saturday, but not to say that we won't see rain. I think we will see some scattered rain showers. It'll be cloudy throughout the day, kind of drab with some mist and drizzle to go along with it as well. Most of those showers will tend to taper off after midnight, and skies begin to clear out heading into your Sunday. I wouldn't be surprised if we have some lingering clouds on Sunday morning. Chilly breezes filter in here with highs in the lower to a few middle 50s by the end of the day on Sunday. Beautiful day in comparison to what we will have to tangle with on your Saturday. Of course, stay up to date with the very latest anytime on the Action News 5 First Alert Weather app. Interactive radar right there in the palm of your hands. Of course, if you got to do some traveling here this weekend, you get the weather information for your location, wherever you just happen to be going, or interactive radar using that First Alert Weather app to pinpoint where the showers are and if you need to avoid them if you're doing some last-minute shopping. Hard to believe that we're just around the corner from Christmas and the first day of winter officially next Thursday. In the meantime, though, feeling more like November across the Mid-South. 64 the high temperature here today. Scattered showers. We get back to normal as we head through Saturday and Sunday. Go below normal heading into early next week as high pressure builds into the area. Now notice the winds are going to start to pick up, especially Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening into Monday. I think we'll probably have some wind gusts anywhere from about 25 to 35 miles per hour during that time frame. And that will make you feel pretty chilly. The lows here, again, for the city, I think we're down to around 30 in the city early Tuesday morning. That means outlying areas are probably going to be down into the 20s and fairly deep into the 20s for that fact. Only rebounding to the upper 40s to near 50 on Tuesday. And gradually, as high pressure builds off towards the east and milder air begins to infiltrate the region once again, that first day of winter could be above average, near 60 degrees with a mixture of clouds and sun.
We are in the holiday season. So many people, they're out shopping and a lot of online shopping. I know I'm one of those people that likes to do a lot of my shopping online. Well, there are so many concerns about cyber threats. They can be so difficult for the everyday person to be able to spot. So, of course, we want to be able to find ways to protect ourselves. And today, you are in luck because we have a special guest joining us here with some insights and tips. This is Nick Bassini. He is the head of outreach for Cisco Talos. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you on here. So first off, I want to dive right in and start talking about this because so many people are concerned about this. Let's talk about some of those online scams, the latest ones that are out there, credit card fraud, and all the above. Let's dive in.
So especially during the holiday season, that old adage, if it seems too good to be true, it likely is, really holds true. So if you get that email or that text message that has that deal that just can't be beat or is just absolutely unbelievable, it probably is. Unfortunately, as well, with the explosion of AI and ChatGPT, these scams are going to look really good. The days of grammar mistakes and misspellings are gone. They're going to look polished. They're going to look convincing. And they're going to be coming from a wide array of sources. It's not just email anymore. You're going to get text messages. You're going to get phone calls. You're going to get hit up on social media. They're going to try everything they can to get in front of you.
I mean, you're so right, because I mean, I see on social media all the time. I'm on Facebook. You see these sponsored ads that pop up and they tell you that there's these great deals and, you know, click here and check them out. And so many people can fall victim to those sort of things. So with all of that, like you said, text messaging, all these different ways that people could be scamming you, what are some things that people can do, especially those that are spending a lot of time online shopping? What can they do to make sure that they are protecting their privacy?
One of the easiest and best things you can do is keep your software up to date. So make sure your phone's updated, your apps are updated, your computer's updated. It's going to give you the protection from the latest security threats, and it's also going to give you access to the newest features. If you are going to be using a credit card, consider using a service like Apple Pay, Google Pay, or Samsung Pay so that you don't have to give your credit card directly to the vendor. And then finally, if you are going to be doing shopping, I know it might be a little bit more expensive, but go to those more established, reputable vendors. You're a lot less likely to get scammed and a lot more likely to get the product that you're actually paying for.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the role that your company plays in helping with this whole thing and this whole problem.
Yeah, so I'm part of Cisco Talos, which is the threat intelligence organization inside of Cisco. The easiest way to think about us is if you have a Cisco security product and it blocks something, it's because of our team. But what we are is a group of researchers who are tasked with identifying the bad activity that's going on the internet, finding it, blocking it, talking about it, and then making sure our customers are protected from it.
You know, we talked about how individuals, they want to make sure that they're protected, but on the other side of that coin, businesses, they also want to make sure that they're safe and no one infiltrates any of their software or programs or whatnot. What can they do to make sure that that happens?
I mean, obviously, making sure you have security technology in place is incredibly important, but especially around the holidays, I always like to call out brand protection. The last thing you want to see as a business owner is your name or your logo being used in a scam or other type of malicious attack. So try to do what you can to protect your brand and prevent it from being abused.
And where can people go if they want to be able to get some more information? Anything else you want to mention before we let you go?
Yeah, you can go to cisco.com/go/security. That has all the information about our products, as well as a link to our year in review, which is a report we recently released that exposes all those trends at a high level for the bad activity we've seen on the internet.
Well, Nick Biasini joining us here on the Digital Desk, the head of outreach for Cisco Talos. Thank you so much for this helpful information and helping to keep people safe this holiday season.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a happy holiday.
All right, we are smack dab in the middle of the holiday season. We got all kinds of gifts that we're shopping for, holiday parties to attend, friends and family coming over to the house. You know, it's great and it's fun and it's exciting, but you know, if you are a pet owner, there is a difficult challenge to maneuver through, and that's making sure your pets are safe this holiday season and preventing holiday pet hazards. That's a big deal, and the telltale signs of when you should take your pet to urgent care. Joining me now to talk more about this very issue, I got two people on the line. Aaron Frazier, he's COO of VCA Animal Hospitals, and Dr. Timbrala Marshall, Urgent Care Medical Operations Leader. Thank you both for being here. Tell me the common holiday hazards for pets in our homes. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Thank you for having us. There's common things that we use to celebrate for the holidays, but they can certainly be hazardous to our pets. I think of decorations. These things are very beautiful and bright to look at, but they can also be enticing for our pets. So if they see tinsel hanging or small little ornaments, they'll sometimes knock those things around and even ingest them, which can be dangerous. The foods that we eat, certainly delicious for us during the holiday season, but some of these things can cause upset stomach for our pets if they ingest them. And so it's best to keep them from eating our food around the holidays. We even use a lot more of our electrical wiring for lights and things to highlight and celebrate. But if our pets are ingesting or nibbling on those cables, that can cause some harm to them as well. So protect those outlets around the holidays.
Let's talk about tips for some of those pet owners out there that are leaving or going traveling for the holidays. What should they do if they're traveling away for the holidays?
If you're traveling with your pet, it's very important that you ensure that your pet is up to date and current on all of their vaccinations. So I recommend that you visit your veterinarian, have a wellness exam prior to your travel, and then they will ensure they have everything they need so that they're cleared to travel. While you're traveling, you want to prevent them from being around too many other pets that we may not know their medical background. That's how we prevent contagious outbreaks. And also restrain them properly. Airports, gas stations, these places are really busy. And if pets are able to get away from you, they can become injured or harmed.
These are helpful tips and suggestions, great ideas out there. What about the typical signs that your pet needs to go to the urgent care?
Yeah, if your pet is acting abnormal in any way, that can be an indication they need to be seen. So any vomiting, diarrhea, coughing, sneezing, even listless behavior, if they're just not perking up when they see you, go ahead and take them into your veterinarian.
Aaron, what about from you and your perspective?
Yeah, we're really proud of our VCA animal hospitals, and we have a wealth of information if you visit our website, so at vca.com. Can answer many questions that the concerned pet owners may have or wondering about their breed or age-specific information, or looking for their local animal hospital. So I encourage the audience to go to vca.com, find your local VCA animal hospital, and as well as a wealth of information on the website.
Let me ask about poinsettias because I hear that they're poisonous for pets.
Yes.
What's the best way to make sure that they're not involved in any kind of, poisoning of our pets?
Thanks for that call out. There's so many things like poinsettias, even mistletoe. There's like a lot of plants that we like to put out for the holidays that can actually be toxic. So in order to prevent them from having access to them, I recommend removing them from low areas where your pets might be able to easily nibble on them and put them higher so that they can be safe. If you do have an indication of toxicity, that might show up as vomiting, diarrhea, seizures, lethargy, take them into your veterinarian immediately so that we can treat them for that.
Okay, anything else from either of you before we let you go? These have been great ideas and tips and suggestions going, smack dab in the middle of the holiday season. Anything else?
I would just say enjoy that time with your pet. Hopefully people are able to spend a little additional time with their family and pet and enjoy it and be there, and obviously be aware of the concerns and cautions through the holidays.
Absolutely. Have a good holiday season. Keep those little ones safe, but also, like Aaron said, just enjoy that time.
Absolutely, certainly. Well, happy holidays to you both. Aaron Frazier, Dr. Timbrala Marshall, we appreciate your time this morning. Thanks for all the suggestions. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We've been talking a lot about the holidays and getting ready for the holidays, and coming up soon, a lot of people are going to be traveling. They're expected to go spend time with family. I'm going to be one of those hitting the road. My husband is from the Chicago area, so we're going to be heading to Chicago. And here in Tennessee, we're expected to reach near record numbers. And joining me here to talk more about it and what you need to know is Megan Cooper with AAA. Megan, good morning. Glad to have you back.
Good morning. I'm always happy to be here.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and dive in and talk about it. What kind of numbers are we expecting here in Tennessee? Are we going to have more people flying, driving? What can you share with us?
Yeah, so taking a look at year-end travel, we're talking about people traveling through Christmas all the way through New Year's through the end of the year. So in that time period, we're expecting 2.7 million Tennesseans to take a trip at least 50 miles away from their home or more. This is near record. Like you said, it's the second highest since 2019. 2019 is still the highest for Tennessee. The majority of Tennesseans are going to be taking a road trip, but nationwide, we're expecting airports to be the busiest that they have ever been. So if you are planning on taking a flight, here's a reminder to pack your patience and definitely plan ahead this year.
Well, you stole my words, because that's what I was going to talk about, is that air travel and making sure that you are packing your patience, because I feel like any flight that I've taken recently, I've had delays, or, you know, I've had some sort of situation that I've had to deal with. So any advice that maybe you want to share with people that will be flying to X, Y, or Z?
Right. So obviously plan ahead. Things are going to be busy. So make sure you're giving yourself enough time to get through every single aspect of the airport. So give yourself plenty of time to park. If you can, plan that ahead of time, whether you're parking on site or off site at that airport. Make sure you have plenty of time to go through security, but then make sure that you have plenty of time at any connecting destinations as well. This time of year, we know winter weather can cause a lot of cancellations, disruptions, delays. So make sure that you're either downloading that airline app or opting into some of those updates, just so you know what's going on with your flight. And even if you're not flying to a cold weather destination, that doesn't mean that you are out of the woods. That doesn't mean that your plane could be traveling through winter weather. So be mindful regardless of where you're flying, and stay up to date with what your flight is doing.
And parking especially, you were talking about that. I know here in Memphis during Thanksgiving, I was seeing where people were having a hard time finding places to park because those lots would get so full. So definitely something to think about. For those hitting the road though, is there a best, worst time to maybe start your travels?
So taking a look at the year-end travel period, it's a little bit longer of a travel period than say Memorial Day or Labor Day. It is a 10-day travel period. Because of that, we see people traveling at varying times. They're not all leaving during the same weekend. But what we do know is that December 22nd and December 28th are expected to be two of the busiest days over the holidays. We're also expecting December 30th, which is the end of that, not going to be the busiest overall, but just know that that Saturday, when everybody is likely coming back home, is probably going to be a little bit busier than your average Saturday.
So I know we're talking Christmas, New Year's. Any top travel destinations that you're seeing as far as that goes?
So what we're finding is that people are really trying to escape the cold weather. Warm weather destinations are very popular. Florida, the Gulf Coast, but we're also seeing some of those big cities like Vegas and New York City are very popular this time of year. But we also find that people are traveling to see family. So I think it'll be a good mix of people traveling back home, whether that's in Tennessee or surrounding states. That's probably going to mix with people that are gifting travel this year. So that's where I think those big city destinations come in.
And before we let you go, let's talk gas prices. What can people expect?
So good news for gas prices this year. We are now seeing the cheapest prices that we have seen so far this year. Our state average as of today is actually below $2.80. And we expect that gas prices will stay low through the end of the year. We may see a bit of fluctuation, a few cents here, a few cents there, but for the most part, we can expect to see some of the cheapest gas prices that we have seen this year, which is great news if you're planning a road trip.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Thank you, Megan. Anything else we want to mention before we let you go? Any last minute tips?
I'll just say to plan ahead. It's going to be busy. We've seen previous travel holidays throughout the year. Know that the airport's going to be busy. Make sure that you're planning ahead if you're taking a road trip. Really planning ahead is key. A lot of other people are traveling, so just do yourself a favor. Make sure you are as prepared as you can be, regardless of whether you're flying or driving to your destination. But most of all, be safe and have fun.
Well, Megan Cooper with AAA, always bringing it. We love having you here on the Digital Desk, and happy holidays. I hope you're able to enjoy it with some family.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Back here in the Action News 5 Digital Desk, I want to play you something right now. Check this out.
It's time to spread the news, chase away those holiday blues.
That was Larita Shelby, a.k.a. Jazzy Rita, and Willie Daniels. They are Memphis songwriters living in L.A., and they are joining us right now on the Action News 5 Digital Desk to talk more about who they are, the song, and what's happening with them. And I love it. I love the sultry sounds of your voice. Larita, good morning to you. How are things?
Hi, thank you. Good morning, Memphis. Yes, when Willie and I were in school at Overton High School, my name is still Larita Shelby, but when I'm doing music, I'm Jazzy Rita. I'm a lyricist, and I write the melodies, and the fabulous Willie Daniels puts the amazing music to it, and that's our new holiday song.
Fantastic. I love it. And tell me more about, you said Overton High School. Tell me more. Give me your background, and Willie would love to hear from you as well.
Okay, Willie, you start.
Well, I'm a born Memphian. Hi, everybody. I'm born from Memphis, Tennessee. I went to Overton High School, and I met my friend Larita Shelby. We was under the late Lula Hedgeman, who trained us vocally and to get ready for everything that we need to do in music. And we're on that journey to proceed to hit that goal.
Yes, so we're proud Overton alums, but Willie's mother is in the background there. She was a Memphis musician, a church musician. Here's my mama back when she was on WDIA back in the day. She was a Memphis musician. Many years ago, I'm dating myself. When I worked at Liberty Land under the direction of Melinda Grable, I was in the Memphis Music Show. So Memphis is all in our blood, and the late, great Ruby Wilson was my godmother. So I was encouraged to write songs as a teenager when David Porter visited my house and said, you know, young lady, you should learn to write. And so Willie and I reconnected in Los Angeles many years ago. And we're so thankful that Real Holiday Love by Jazzy Rita Shelby is getting airplay all over the world. And we've actually been told that there were people who weren't going to celebrate the holidays because of certain life events, but after they heard the song, they've decided to have the holiday spirit.
I love it. You've connected with so many Memphians that remember Liberty Park fondly, including our producer, Amanda Hanson. Tell me about the inspiration that goes into a Memphis couple who decides, okay, we're going to move to LA and we're going to start a life there. How does that happen?
Well, Willie, since it's your birthday, Willie Daniels, you start. Happy birthday, Willie.
Thank you, likewise. You know I'm quiet. First of all, we're just good friends. We're not a couple. We're a music couple, and everything started for me from church. I played for the late Oris Mays Boston Baptist Church family, and the late Gilbert Earl Patterson Hello family, and so on and so on, and went to school to culture my music, so to make sure that I had what I need and the knowledge of what I need to know where I'm going. And I hooked up with my friend Larita when I saw her in Los Angeles. I'm sorry, and we were at the mall, and we froze and said, "Is that her?" Wasn't sure. And then I saw her on TV.
Actually, yeah, it was at the CC Wine.
I'm going to say, hey, we're having some technical issues. We're going to sign off really quickly here on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. We will be back shortly. Back here in the Action News 5 Digital Desk, I want to play you something right now. Check this out.
It's time to spread the news, chase away those
Hey, thanks for joining us here on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. We are looking pretty good for today. Mild temperatures yet again, middle 60s with a lot of sunshine. Though after lunch, you'll probably start to see a few clouds beginning to streak through the skies. And eventually those clouds will thicken up enough that will yield us some scattered showers heading into your weekend. Showery periods, that's your first alert to that. Of course, we're going to talk about this the last couple of days, and the rain chances have ever so slightly increased every day. Now, it's still looking like we could have a period of time where there will be some scattered showers, and then it's in and out of here fairly quickly. It's not a ton of rain that we're talking about here, but again, some opportunities for scattered showers definitely in play as we head through your Saturday. No severe weather risk, and this will be generally less than not even a half an inch. I think we're in a lot of spots less than a quarter of an inch of rainfall across the Mid-South. Of course, you notice, again, a good scattering and smattering of showers that will work their way through the Mid-South as we head through the day. Now, there's two different schools of thought here because you saw on one model there's kind of a hole in the middle that would include the Mid-South. There's two different storm systems, really. One that's going down towards the south in the Gulf of Mexico. This is going to become a much larger storm system along the Florida Peninsula, up and down the East Coast, all the way from Florida all the way up to New England. And then there's an upper disturbance that's moving to the north of us. And in between, there's kind of a relative lull in the activity, and that's why our chances for rain really haven't gone much over 40%, because again, we're going to see one system kind of pull away from us, one system to the north, and one system pull away from us to the south. So that's why we kind of see a paltry amount of scattered showers to contend with as we head towards your Saturday, but not to say that we won't see rain. I think we will see some scattered rain showers. They'll be cloudy throughout the day, kind of drab, with some mist and drizzle to go along with it as well. Most of those showers will tend to taper off after midnight, and skies begin to clear out heading into your Sunday. I wouldn't be surprised if we have some lingering clouds on Sunday morning. Chilly breezes filter in here with highs in the lower to a few middle 50s by the end of the day on Sunday. Beautiful day in comparison to what we will have to tangle with on your Saturday. Of course, stay up to date with the very latest anytime on the Action News 5 First Alert Weather app. Interactive radar right there in the palm of your hands. Of course, if you got to do some traveling here this weekend, you get the weather information for your location, wherever you just happen to be going, or interactive radar using that First Alert Weather app to pinpoint where the showers are and if you need to avoid them if you're doing some last-minute shopping. Hard to believe that we're just around the corner from Christmas and the first day of winter officially next Thursday. In the meantime, though, feeling more like November across the Mid-South. 64 the high temperature here today. Scattered showers. We get back to normal as we head through Saturday and Sunday. Go below normal heading into early next week as high pressure builds into the area. Now notice the winds are going to start to pick up, especially Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening into Monday. I think we'll probably have some wind gusts anywhere from about 25 to 35 miles per hour during that time frame. And that will make you feel pretty chilly. The lows here, again, for the city, I think we're down to around 30 in the city early Tuesday morning. That means outlying areas are probably going to be down into the 20s and fairly deep into the 20s for that fact. Only rebounding to the upper 40s to near 50 on Tuesday. And gradually, as high pressure builds off towards the east and milder air begins to infiltrate the region once again, that first day of winter could be above average, near 60 degrees with a mixture of clouds and sun.
The Christmas holiday and everything associated with the Christmas holiday, including a mainstay, a tradition for so many Memphians and Mid-Southerners, it's Zoo Lights at the Memphis Zoo, and I'm joined now by Rebecca Winchester. She's on the Action News 5 digital desk to talk more about Zoo Lights this year. Rebecca, good morning to you. I love Zoo Lights. I remember taking my kids there when they were super little, and then now that they're, technically adults, they love going as well. What is the best fun part of Zoo Lights that you enjoy yourself?
I would say I was also lucky growing up in Memphis to come to Zoo Lights every year. And I would say my personal favorite thing has always been watching people ice skate. I'm never the one on the ice myself. That is not for me, but I love standing with a cup of hot cocoa and just watching everyone make some holiday memories at Zoo Lights. And now that I'm working here, it's just even more special to see it really just come together.
I bet. So I know it's pretty much the same year to year, but sometimes there's some nuances, sometimes there's some differences. Can you tell us what we can expect this year?
Absolutely. Of course, it's, one of my favorite things about Zoo Lights is it's such a Memphis tradition, but every year we try to add some things that you might not see every year at Zoo Lights. So of course we have our ice skating rink, but it's actually in a new location this year with a much more kind of winter village feel to it. We have Snowmain Lane this year as an homage to Memphis. So instead of snowmen, we have Snowmain Lane, which is a great attraction, some huge snowmen to take some photos in front of, and just all sorts of things. We have some new light fixtures. We have, of course, the iconic snow as soon as you walk in. Of course, you can meet Santa, and don't tell him I'm currently sitting in his chair, so I hope he's okay with that. But we also have our Chinese lanterns and our China exhibit, just so many opportunities. Buy some hot chocolate for our adults. You can purchase other drinks. It's just going to be a great time, and we're so excited to have it once again this year.
So, Rebecca, tell me what type of work goes into setting up Zoo Lights year after year. It's got to be one of those things that takes almost an army or so, right?
Yes, absolutely. So it starts, we go straight from ZooBoo right into Zoo Lights here at Memphis Zoo. So it is kind of a nonstop machine that is working. We have an amazing crew and company that we work with that help us to provide this amazing, display of lights for everyone. Like I said, knowing that it's such a Memphis tradition, we try and, really make it something special every year, but it is months long process to get everything put in and figured out and, making sure things are working correctly and also just maintaining it throughout the season. That's something a lot of people don't think of is, making sure everything's working properly. And we are always trying to, come up with new ideas for everyone. But we, of course, my personal favorite is walking in, and we have that true Egyptian feel as soon as you walk in with the pharaohs out front. And you walk in and see the pyramid. And, I just love that we tie in our architecture here at Memphis Zoo within that Egyptian theme at Zoo Lights even. So it's amazing. But yes, a lot of work, a lot of ice, a lot of fake snow, and just a lot of fun.
So let's talk about tickets because, people are going to want to go. They're going to want to bring their families. What's the best way people can purchase tickets?
Absolutely. We really highly encourage you purchasing your tickets online in advance at memphiszoo.org/zoolights. You can find that under our special events page on our website. Tickets are $14 for our members and $19 for non-members. So this is a great time to become a member if you're thinking about it. If you want to come to Zoo Lights this year, already enjoyed that discount for our members. And yeah, so we definitely recommend getting them in advance because they will sell out. So we always encourage getting them as soon as possible. So go ahead and plan your night.
Excellent. Is there anything else, Rebecca, we haven't touched on you feels important for all of our viewers out there? We have thousands watching right now.
I would say just come and enjoy. I think, like I said, Zoo Lights is something that is just so integral to the Memphis holiday experience, in my opinion. And whether you're a little kid experiencing the holidays for one of your first times, or whether you're, a grandparent watching your grandchild experience the Christmas holiday or any holiday, it's just such a special place to celebrate that. And I think, right now, Memphis, I think we really need some light, and I think we need some happiness and some fun and just celebration. And what better of a place to do it than Memphis Zoo?
Amen to that, Rebecca. Rebecca Winchester with the Memphis Zoo, talking about zoo lights once again this year, a tradition for so many Memphians and Mid-Southerners each and every year. Rebecca, appreciate you and all the hard work that your staff does to get it ready for zoo lights. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Action News 5 digital desk. You can see it's 56 degrees and we are bathing in sunshine right now. 10:13 is the time. We're going to be talking more about your forecast with meteorologist Patrick Ellis coming up in a little bit, including some showers on the way in the next 24 hours. There was an article that was written in the Daily Memphian a few days ago, and the title of the article was Few Trials, Many Dismissals at 201 Poplar, according to various reports. And there was some data that was inside this article written by Aaron Fleming that suggested and talked about this very issue. It was data from the Tennessee Administrative Office of Courts, and it showed from July 1st, 2021 to July 30th, 2022, so a one-year stint here. 55% of criminal charges, not cases, in Shelby County were dismissed. And this article goes deeper into this issue of that there's essentially fewer trials and many dismissals at 201 Poplar, downtown Memphis. Let's bring in an organization that is also focused on this issue. I am joined now by a couple of people that are a part of Just City. We are talking with Court Watch Manager Yanni Gibson. You can also see data scientist Ryan Carroll there off in the distance. You two, good morning. How are you this morning? Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Uh-oh. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. Oh man, you missed my intro here. I was talking about the article, the trials, the few trials, the many dismissals that are happening at 201 Poplar. It was a report from the Daily Memphian, and it was written by Aaron Fleming, and it talked about data from the Tennessee Administrative Office of Courts that shows from July 1st of 2021 to June 30th of 2022, more than 55% of criminal charges, not cases, in Shelby County were dismissed. And so there's a lot of different opinions about all this, and how do we fix it? And and you two, both Court Watch Manager Yanni Gibson, and then you can see data scientist Ryan Carroll there. Both of you are part of justcity.org, and I appreciate you joining me on the digital desk. Can you talk briefly, first off, what justcity.org is? I know that some people know about it. You guys have been around for more than 5 years, but for people who are just learning about you, tell us about your organization.
Sure. You want to go, Ryan, or do you want me to?
Just City is an sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to correct my name. It's Yene. Go ahead, Ryan.
Thank you. Thank you, Yene.
Yeah, Just City is a nonprofit organization that has the mission of advocating for a smaller, more humane criminal justice system in Shelby County. We do that through a number of programs, from expungement to our bail fund, to the Public Data Accountability Project, and much.
Okay, appreciate it, Ryan. And tell me, and I open this up to both of you, Did you read that report and your thoughts on some of the conclusions? I mean, there really weren't that many conclusions, but there were certainly opinions as to why there are fewer trials happening in Shelby County and many dismissals. But I'd like to get your take on that.
Well, I would say from a court watch perspective, it's just really inefficient the way that we do trials because there's only one set at the beginning of each week. So we call juries in on Monday, and if a trial's not going or a trial's not prepared, then the jury gets sent home, and there's no like chance for them to maybe start like a midweek trial, and that way things just take so much longer because everything in our system is pretty inefficient. It feels like it's designed to work that way.
Ryan, did you want to weigh in?
Sure. Yeah. In terms of the number of dismissals, former Judge Bobby Carter had a report that outlined how the number of trials is an issue and causing high number of dismissals, and that's certainly the case. But it's more of a yes and. This is being caused by fewer trials, which means that the system depends on people pleading guilty, which means that people stay in jail longer until they plead guilty, or they are faced with higher number of charges or higher severity of charges, which then encourages them to plead guilty to lower charges or fewer charges so that this system can keep on moving.
So from both of yours perspective, from justcity.org's perspective, how do we fix this? Because a lot of people say, okay, we need more trials and we don't want to see dismissals unless it is in fact justified. So how do we fix and resolve the problems right now at 201 Poplar? Ryan, let's start with you.
We are doing our part to provide these judges with information on how long they're taking to dispose these cases. And really a lot of it is just procedure. People need to take responsibility for whatever their role is in the criminal justice system, and they need to determine people's innocence or guilt in a timely manner and not leverage long stays in jail or threats of very long sentences in order to dispose cases.
Yanae, did you want to weigh in?
Yeah, I would say just having a full day of having court, because typically court will run from around 9 a.m. till 12. But if we had a full day, like a actual like 9 to 5 work day, I think we could get things done faster. And then trials would take a lot less time. And I think also just having midweek trials and allowing juries to come midweek as well, instead of just sending them home on Mondays.
Yeah, it seems like this is apolitical. I mean, I think both sides of the political aisle want to see more efficiency downtown with our justice system, and I think that there are complaints to go around and just kind of figure out, okay, how do we fix this? You mentioned Ryan, Bobby Carter, who was cited in this case, and there was a mention in that article that there are more than 300 murder cases pending right now. I mean, how do we change that? I mean, it's absurd to me that there are 300 pending cases, and just last week there was one from 2018 that involved the former head of the Greater Memphis Chamber with a guilty plea. I mean, that was back in 2018, almost 6 years ago, and we're just getting to it now. It seems absurd. I'm just trying to figure out how do we resolve this. Yanae, do you want to start?
Honestly, I think having as much like public awareness is one of the keys, because our court system has been hidden for so long. It has gone on really without accountability for so long, so that if we have enough people who are paying attention, I think we can just showcase like just how inefficient it is, and even our public defenders need help. Like we have, we don't have enough public defenders to take as many of the murder trials as we have. But I think, yeah, it takes just a lot more in the courtroom work. And so extending those hours would be one of the best ways, I think.
Yeah, I can see that, and certainly that's a great start. Ryan, anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, I think something that is really important is that 300 number is really just pending trials for cases that have been cleared. MPD has a very low clearance rate for murders, and so if that clearance rate were to increase, this backlog would increase exponentially over time. And so like this issue, it's this bad because of those low clearance rates. And so it becomes so much worse, so much more quickly. If these murders are actually being solved.
I think your sigh that you just gave really says it all, Ryan. I think we're all just really frustrated on how this works. I want to switch topics just a little bit here and pivot, because recently, in fact this week, Just City was in the news in this war of words back and forth between Tennessee State Senator Brent Taylor and Shelby County DA Steve Mulroy. And Brent Taylor wrote a letter to the governor. He's written a letter to Tennessee Attorney Generals talking about DA Mulroy aligning himself with a number of groups considered liberal groups. And one of the groups he mentioned was Just City, in addition to Justice Innovation Lab, Vera Institute. And these groups, according to State Senator Brent Taylor, have turned Mulroy into a weak-on-crime prosecutor and very concerned about lenient prosecutions and that sort of thing. Tell me where you stand on this. Are you familiar with this war of words? I'm sure you guys are. But Ryan, let's begin with you.
Yes, I am familiar. And I feel like my work on the Public Data Accountability Project at Just City is in some ways at the center of it, because he discusses agreements or data sharing that doesn't happen. My background is in data and technology, and we've acquired this data over time. There's not a conspiracy of any sort between these things. These organizations, Vera, Just City, Justice Innovation Lab, they just want people to be prosecuted fairly, and they want people to be held accountable, but in a humane way. And that's all I have to say.
Okay, just going from your website though, Ryan, Just City feels like money bail is unfair. Is that right? And if so, how does Just City think how we should deal with the bail system?
Oh, money bail is absolutely an unjust and unfair system. If a rich person gets accused of the same crime as a person struggling with poverty, it doesn't make any sense that one person gets to go home and fight their case from home and the other one is forced to stay in jail in horrible conditions just because of money. It's not about letting every single person out. It's about using discerning judgment to either keep them in jail or let them go, but money should never be a factor in that.
So how do we fix it? What's the bail system? What's the bail system? What's the best way to effectively have a bail system in Shelby County?
The Vera Institute created a calculator for bail so that people are able to go much more in depth than what we were currently doing to understand if money is an issue, but also Just City and all of these other same organizations also care about public safety. We want people to be safe, and money bail is not keeping us safer. And so the calculator allows the pretrial services to understand like what their safety risk would be, what their financial capabilities are. And so if someone does not pose a risk to the community or to themselves, there's no reason for them to be in jail while they're waiting on their case to resolve, because in our system, you are innocent until proven guilty. So you should have that same ability to fight your case and work your case from home the same way that anybody with means would be able to.
Okay, there was a person that was charged recently. It made headlines. A person charged with first-degree murder, didn't have a criminal background. He was released with his own recognizance by a judge, and a lot of scrutiny has been put on that judge right now. Where does Just City stand on that issue? Are you familiar with it?
Yes, I believe it was. Yes, we are familiar with it. That it's really up to the judge, and that's the judge's discretion. If this person was shown to not be a risk to public safety, like a further risk, because clearly, if they're charged with first-degree murder, they have shown some risk. But if they've shown to not be like a further risk to the public or a risk of running, the law states that they have the right to be released, which is why the judge was able to do that.
Okay, and Ryan, feel free to weigh in as well. I mean, there's some concern with the public, though, because we get those emails, those calls, those concerns, because first-degree murder means premeditated murder. And again, these are charges, they're not convictions. This innocent until proven guilty, of course. However, based upon evidence that police have, that's where they charge this person with first-degree murder, being released on their own recognizance. Eyebrows go up, people are wondering what's happening, and they're very concerned. Tell me your reaction, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it yourself. To hold people almost presumes guilt to some extent. To say that they're a risk to the community presupposes that they were guilty of the crime in the first place in a lot of ways, and these people are not. I have been working in the criminal justice system for a long time now, and I've seen cases where someone is charged with an aggravated assault, but they have text messages from the person in all caps saying, I'm going to put a charge on you until you get back together with me. And therefore that person was allowed to go on a very low bond, even though it's a scary charge, it's an aggravated assault. But the judge used their discretion to recognize that this person was not a risk. They didn't reoffend. And if someone is being released on their own recognizance for a first-degree murder, I would have to think that there is a good reason. And I mean, these things come into the media, and so every judge has a strong incentive to use their best judgment and to try to keep the community safe in the best way that they can.
I gotcha. And so that's where Senator Brent Taylor is coming from when he says Just City supports ending cash bail and lenient prosecutions. I'm going to give you guys the last word here on all this. Yanae, let's start with you.
Just City does support ending cash bail. That does not mean Just City supports anybody who's being convicted of things to just be free and have free reign on our community, because we do care a lot about public safety, but we also care a lot about transparency and accountability. And so we are we don't believe in lenient necessarily like prosecution, but we do believe in fair. And if it's if we have an unfair system, I can see how making it fair probably feels more lenient. But we're just trying to make sure that everyone, regardless of their past history or their economic status, we want to make sure everyone has the same fair chance.
Okay, Yanae. And Ryan, did you want to add anything?
Yes. First, is that really so much of this is about making our criminal justice system more efficient and bringing justice to the people that harm others in our community, but doing it in a fair way. Research, and in terms of bail, research all over, so many research studies, so many examples from all over the nation have showed that these bail reforms do not make our communities less safe, they make our communities more safe. Because when people are not held in jail, they don't lose their jobs, they don't lose their homes, they're not forced into desperate situations. which pushes them back into a life of crime. We released numbers, the Shelby County released numbers to show that these bail reforms before and after have not led to an increase in crime, and these narratives are just fundamentally false.
Okay, we're going to have to let that be the last word. Ryan, Carol, and Yanae Gibson, we appreciate your time. Certainly a conversation that needs to be continued. Thanks so much for coming on the Digital Desk. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, there's a live look from our High Five camera there in Midtown Memphis. Back in 60 seconds. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. 1033, 56 degrees and lots of sunshine out there. We'll be talking more about your forecast coming up in just a little bit. Right now, I want to talk about the cover of La Prensa Latina, the Memphis area's largest bilingual newspaper out there, and you can see a celebrity chef is on the cover. To talk more about the cover and what's inside, we have Vivian Fernandez de Adamson joining us on the Digital Desk. Vivian, good morning. How are you?
Hi, Andrew. Good morning. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Ready for the holidays and ready for everything that's headed our way. I love the cover, and wow, what a great picture of her. Tell me more.
Yes, this is Chef Adrienne Calvo. She is from Chicago, actually, but she was born to Cuban parents. So she's a very famous chef, not only nationally, but also internationally. So she has been bringing her Latin flavor to St. Jude during Christmas for 16 years already. This is just amazing. It is just a traditional Cuban dish that includes roasted pork, which is marinated overnight in garlic and sour orange and great spices. And there's red beans and black beans, white rice, tostones, which are fried crispy plantains, maduros, which are ripe plantains that are fried until they're nice and caramelized. Then we have yuca with a garlic sauce over the top. And then for dessert, they had caramel flan and coconut passion fruit bread pudding. So they had this dinner actually last Monday, and this is mostly for Hispanic families and patients at St. Jude. Well, for everyone, but especially for the Hispanic families, because she's trying to bring this Latin flavor to families and the feeling that they are back home, at grandma's house. And, the way she's doing this, the reason why she's doing this, I'm sorry, is because the very first time when she cooked this kind of dinner for St. Jude patients at Target House, she said that she heard this little girl walking, with her mom, a patient of St. Jude, of course, and she was telling her mom, "Hey, Mom, do you smell that? It smells like grandma's house." And the mom said, "Yes, it does." When Adrienne heard this, she says that she knew right then that was the moment. In that moment, she knew that she was going to come back to St. Jude every year to do the same thing.
And that is Adrienne Calvo there on the cover of La Prensa Latina. There she is, one of the articles inside talking about bringing authentic Cuban cuisine around the holidays to some of the families there associated with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. My first question, I grew up in South Florida, Vivian, so I love Cuban food. In fact, it's some of my favorite meals that I eat, and I would love for her to open up a restaurant around here so we could have some authentic
absolutely.
Cuban food. Do we
I
know of
know.
any plans in the works?
No, but she does have 3 restaurants already in Miami. So, and she
Yes.
also has a show on NBC actually in Miami. So it's called Maximum Flavor, and it's also broadcast on YouTube. And she's gonna have a podcast again as well. I'm sorry. And then with these 3 restaurants, one is called Chef Adrian's Vineyard Restaurant and Bar. The other one is Crack Eatery by Adrian, and the other one is Baked by Chef Adrian. So again, all of these are located in Miami, but it will be wonderful if she opens one restaurant here, right? Like you said. And if you want to learn more about her, you can go to their website. Her website is adriancalvo.com. Or actually, you can also go to her foundation, which is called makeitcountchatteries.org. And this foundation was born after her sister, who died from cancer, a rare tongue cancer, actually. It was Chef Adrian's mission to open this foundation and help St. Jude. Because again, her sister, when she was sick with cancer, she was 19 years old. It was too late already. She didn't know anything about St. Jude, but she learned when she was looking she was looking at all these videos online on YouTube. And she said, oh, poor kids, we need to do something to help St. Jude. We need to help these kids at St. Jude. So this is the main reason why Chef Adrian decided to help St. Jude as well. It was her mission, and it still is.
That's amazing. I love it. And of course, you can read more about it on the pages of La Prensa Latina and LaPrensaLatina.com. Another story has to deal with these bobbleheads. We got the Memphis Tiger bobbleheads here. Tom
Well, there you go.
and Pouncer. There we go. So I love these things. Tell me more about these bobbleheads, Vivian.
Well, this past weekend, the National Bobblehead Hall of Fame and Museum unveiled a pair of officially licensed limited edition Memphis Tiger Pouncer bobbleheads, and then which actually joined the bobblehead that was released earlier this year, commemorating Memphis's previous live mascot, Tom III. So these bobbleheads pouncers are $35 each, and the one that's featuring Tom III is $30. So you can order them, all of these bobbleheads online, and there's a flat rate shipping charge of $8 per order as well.
That is amazing. I love it. Vivian Fernandez de Adamson, we appreciate it. Have a wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas,
Likewise.
Feliz Navidad, and
Feliz Navidad.
we'll talk to you later. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Okay, see you later. Okay, right now, a live look from our High Five camera in Midtown Memphis, 56 degrees, 1040. Let's get a check of that forecast with meteorologist Patrick Ellis.
Hey, thanks for joining us here on the Action News 5 digital desk. We are looking pretty good for today. Mild temperatures yet again, middle 60s with a lot of sunshine. Though after lunch, you'll probably start to see a few clouds beginning to streak through the skies. And eventually those clouds will thicken up enough that will yield us some scattered showers heading into your weekend. Showery periods, that's your first alert to that. Of course, we're going to talk about this the last couple of days, and the rain chances have ever so slightly increased every day. Now, it's still looking like we could have a period of time where there will be some scattered showers, and then it's in and out of here fairly quickly. It's not a ton of rain that we're talking about here, but again, some opportunities for scattered showers definitely in play as we head through your Saturday. No severe weather risk, and this will be generally less than not even a half an inch. I think we're in a lot of spots less than a quarter of an inch of rainfall across the Mid-South. Of course, you notice, again, a good scattering and smattering of showers that will work their way through the Mid-South as we head through the day. Now, there's two different schools of thought here because you saw on one model, there's kind of a hole in the middle that would include the Mid-South. There's two different storm systems, really. One that's going down towards the south in the Gulf of Mexico. This is going to become a much larger storm system along the Florida Peninsula up and down the East Coast, all the way from Florida all the way up to New England. And then there's a upper disturbance that's moving to the north of us. And in between, there's kind of a relative lull in the activity, and that's why our chances for rain really haven't gone much over 40%, because again, we're going to see one system kind of pull away from us, one system to the north, and one system pull away from us to the south. So that's why we kind of see a paltry amount of scattered showers to contend with as we head towards your Saturday, but not to say that we won't see rain. I think we will see some scattered rain showers. It'll be cloudy throughout the day, kind of drab, with some mist and drizzle to go along with it as well. Most of those showers will tend to taper off after midnight, and skies begin to clear out heading into your Sunday. I wouldn't be surprised if we have some lingering clouds on Sunday morning. Chilly breezes filter in here with highs in the lower to a few middle 50s by the end of the day on Sunday. Beautiful day in comparison to what we will have to tangle with on your Saturday. Of course, stay up to date with the very latest anytime on the Action News 5 First Alert Weather app. Interactive radar right there in the palm of your hands. Of course, if you got to do some traveling here this weekend, you get the weather information for your location, wherever you just happen to be going, or interactive radar using that First Alert Weather app to pinpoint where the showers are and if you need to avoid them if you're doing some last-minute shopping. Hard to believe that we're just around the corner from Christmas and the first day of winter officially next Thursday. In the meantime, though, feeling more like November across the Mid-South. 64 the high temperature here today. Scattered showers. We get back to normal as we head through Saturday and Sunday. Go below normal heading into early next week as high pressure builds into the area. Now notice the winds are going to start to pick up, especially Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening into Monday. I think we'll probably have some wind gusts anywhere from about 25 to 35 miles per hour during that time frame. And that will make it feel pretty chilly. The lows here, again, for the city, I think we're down to around 30 in the city early Tuesday morning. That means outlying areas are probably going to be down into the 20s and fairly deep into the 20s for that fact. Only rebounding to the upper 40s to near 50 on Tuesday. And gradually, as high pressure builds off towards the east and milder air begins to infiltrate the region once again, that first day of winter could be above average, near 60 degrees with a mixture of clouds and sun.
All right, good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. I have a special guest with me in our Digital Desk studios. We got Ty Coleman, the Director of Memphis Animal Services. Yes, sir. Great to have you here. And we also have Peppermint that you see there. Peppermint, one of the animals, of course, up for adoption. And you have a special coming up, the 12 days of Christmas, kind of a takeoff of that, 12 hours of adoption. Tell me more about that.
So we're excited this Saturday to be offering 12 hours of adoption hours. Basically, we're going to be open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Waived adoption, so we don't want people paying an adoption fee. We'd rather that adoption fee contribute to pet supplies or whatever it is they want to buy for the animal and start them off right.
Fantastic. And I see Peppermint being handled by Amanda Hanson over there. Very comfortable, I see, over there. Tell us a little bit about Peppermint. He is so cute.
Yeah, so Peppermint is an adult dog, very docile, calm. He loves people affection. So, you know, did great on the car ride, except for he wanted to keep giving me kisses on the side of my face.
That's great.
A very affectionate dog, great with kids as well.
Fantastic. I love it. I love it. And about 3 years old, so that's about as big as Peppermint's going to get.
Yes, he's not getting any bigger. He's past that puppy stage. He's just ready to provide some love to the new family.
So we got the 12 hours of Christmas. That is this Saturday. Tell us about how that's worked. We know it's worked incredibly well in the past.
Yes, so last year we had about 152 adoptions. And so what we do is waive the adoption fees. We're going to provide a $50 gift card as well to a pet supply store. Also allow people to pick a present underneath the Christmas tree at the shelter when they adopt their pet. So lots of great things happening this Saturday.
And of course, spayed and neutered and microchipped and all kinds of shots, everything up to date.
Yep, they're fully vetted, which usually costs you over $300. It's all free. We'll do the spay, neuter, everything you just said.
Excellent. So I know that this time of year, the shelter is just full, right? I mean, it's bursting at the seams, isn't it?
Yes, you know, the community is already dealing with inflation. Dog food is twice as what it was last year. And then as well as you got the holidays, people are having to make tough decisions on what bills they're going to pay. So sometimes the pets are at the bottom of the totem pole, and we're looking to provide more resources to the community and educate more as much as possible.
Fantastic. Okay, so where can people learn more about the 12 hours of Christmas That's this Saturday, December 16th, and it's from 9 to 9, right?
Yes, 9 to 9. So they can follow us on any of our social media pages, Adopt MAS, or go to memphisanimalservices.com.
Okay, excellent. And then they can see all the pets that are available, dogs
Yes.
and cats, right?
So we highlight dogs on our social media page, but at memphisanimalservices.com, dogs and cats, they're all posted live.
Okay, and you've only been here in Memphis for just a couple of months. Welcome, by the way.
Yes, thank you. I mean, I love it. It's amazing.
Okay, tell us a little bit about your background.
So I'm from Dallas. I've been in this career field going on 13 years now in February, public servant at heart. So I'm really eager and happy to serve the Memphians here.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Ty, it's great to have you here. Welcome to Memphis. We appreciate you and all the hard work you're doing. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. We're going to do our best to highlight some of those amazing animals that you have there at Memphis Animal Services, including Peppermint that you see right there.
Yes.
He is such a ham, I can see. One more time, Peppermint, turn around so we can get the camera on you there. Beautiful there.
Great, such a great dog.
I love it. I love it. Ty, thank you very much. Peppermint, thank you. 12 Hours of Christmas, Memphis Animal Services. So we are about to enter winter season, and during the season we know that there's all kinds of viruses, there's all kinds of sicknesses out there, and so we're doing our best to try and keep ourselves and our family healthy. But what happens if your child is sick and they say, "Mom or Dad, I'm sick," and how can you determine whether your child is physically sick or if it's more of a mental health issue? Let's talk more about that right now with clinical psychologist Dr. Andrea Bonnier. She's joining us right now on the Action News 5 digital desk. So what's the first step that parents should take if they suspect their child's not feeling well? Dr. Bonnier, good morning.
Good morning to you. Thanks for having me. So in terms of first steps as a mom, definitely my first step is to go to my medicine cabinet, and I always have those Binax Now COVID-19 self-tests by Abbott there because you want to test and have the peace of mind to know what you're dealing with and be empowered. Whenever there's sniffles or some sort of medical symptom, you can also, of course, consult with a healthcare provider for extra information. But as you mentioned, a lot of times the kids are dealing with emotional stressors, and this can show up in physical ways. So we want to be able to have a conversation about that as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, because normally, I mean, I have 2 children, and it's like, okay, if they're sick, all right, let's figure out what's bothering them and maybe what we can do if there's some physical symptoms versus other symptoms as well.
Exactly. So you want to make it feel safe and comfortable for them to talk about feelings. I think sometimes this is easier said than done, but we want to open up a dialogue where we're not accusing them or assuming that they're just trying to get out of school, but we really want to hear what's going on in their lives. We can ask them what's important to them, what's coming up for you, what's been on your mind. There might be a holiday party or some sort of exam that's coming up that is really stressing them out. So the key is really to create a situation where they feel comfortable talking about feelings and they feel like it's okay to do so.
What about when it comes to a parent determining, doctor, that there's in fact a mental health issue? Then what direction do we go with that?
Yeah, and this is hard because a lot of kids might not be able to explicitly say that that's what's going on. So a lot of times too, it's important to watch and listen. If you see patterns, you see changes in behavior, or changes in their eating or their sleeping patterns, changes in their social lives. But really, if they're going to take a mental health day or have a day off from school, it's important that it's not just a free pass off from school. It's important that we treat it as a healing day. What can we do to actually cope better? How can we strengthen you? How can we maybe get you additional support if you need it? How can we learn some relaxation exercises or really become more aware of your feelings and how to manage them? That way, when they go back to school, they'll feel more energized and actually like the problem is a little bit more solved than if they were just trying to avoid school. Because when they just avoid and they don't feel like they're working on it, then it gets harder to go back.
Okay, Dr. Bonnier, let's just kind of overview for the thousands of people who are joining us on the digital desk. If their child's not feeling sick this winter season, we got viruses, we got COVID, the flu, RSV, that sort of thing. Give me maybe 2 or 3 bullet points of what we should do.
Yeah, so talk to them. Have those COVID-19 self-tests by Abbott, those Binax Now COVID-19 tests on hand. make it okay for them to speak with you about their feelings. And also additionally, Abbott has some resources at rapidtest.abbott/BinaxNow to help navigate this tricky time when there's so much going around mentally and physically.
Okay, Dr. Andrea Bonnier, clinical psychologist, we appreciate you joining us on the Digital Desk. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you too.
Hey, thanks for joining us here on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. We are looking pretty good for today. Mild temperatures yet again, middle 60s with a lot of sunshine. Though after lunch, you'll probably start to see a few clouds beginning to streak through the skies. And eventually those clouds will thicken up enough that will yield us some scattered showers heading into your weekend. Showery periods, that's your first alert to that. Of course, we're going to talk about this the last couple of days, and the rain chances have ever so slightly increased every day. Now, it's still looking like we could have a period of time where there will be some scattered showers, and then it's in and out of here fairly quickly. It's not a ton of rain that we're talking about here, but again, some opportunities for scattered showers definitely in play as we head through your Saturday. No severe weather risk, and this will be generally less than not even a half an inch. I think we're in a lot of spots less than a quarter of an inch of rainfall across the Mid-South. Of course, you notice, again, a good scattering and smattering of showers that will work their way through the Mid-South as we head through the day. Now, there's two different schools of thought here because you saw on one model there's kind of a hole in the middle that would include the Mid-South. There's two different storm systems, really. One that's going down towards the south in the Gulf of Mexico. This is going to become a much larger storm system along the Florida Peninsula, up and down the East Coast, all the way from Florida all the way up to New England. And then there's an upper disturbance that's moving to the north of us. And in between, there's kind of a relative lull in the activity, and that's why our chances for rain really haven't gone much over 40%, because again, we're going to see one system kind of pull away from us, one system to the north, and one system pull away from us to the south. So that's why we kind of see a paltry amount of scattered showers to contend with as we head towards your Saturday, but not to say that we won't see rain. I think we will see some scattered rain showers. They'll be cloudy throughout the day, kind of drab, with some mist and drizzle to go along with it as well. Most of those showers will tend to taper off after midnight, and skies begin to clear out heading into your Sunday. I wouldn't be surprised if we have some lingering clouds on Sunday morning. Chilly breezes filter in here with highs in the lower to a few middle 50s by the end of the day on Sunday. Beautiful day in comparison to what we will have to tangle with on your Saturday. Of course, stay up to date with the very latest anytime on the Action News 5 First Alert Weather app. Interactive radar right there in the palm of your hands. Of course, if you got to do some traveling here this weekend, you get the weather information for your location, wherever you just happen to be going, or interactive radar using that First Alert Weather app to pinpoint where the showers are and if you need to avoid them if you're doing some last-minute shopping. Hard to believe that we're just around the corner from Christmas and the first day of winter officially next Thursday. In the meantime, though, feeling more like November across the Mid-South. 64 the high temperature here today. Scattered showers. We get back to normal as we head through Saturday and Sunday. Go below normal heading into early next week as high pressure builds into the area. Now notice the winds are going to start to pick up, especially Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening into Monday. I think we'll probably have some wind gusts anywhere from about 25 to 35 miles per hour during that time frame. And that will make you feel pretty chilly. The lows here, again, for the city, I think we're down to around 30 in the city early Tuesday morning. That means outlying areas are probably going to be down into the 20s and fairly deep into the 20s for that fact. Only rebounding to the upper 40s to near 50 on Tuesday. And gradually, as high pressure builds off towards the east and milder air begins to infiltrate the region once again, that first day of winter could be above average, near 60 degrees with a mixture of clouds and sun.
All right, that does it for us here in the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Have yourself a wonderful afternoon and a wonderful weekend. We got Action News 5 midday coming up at the top of the hour with Cindy Gray and Spencer Denton. They'll take you through the next hour, and then have a great weekend. Join us Monday morning bright and early for another edition of the Digital Desk beginning at 7 o'clock. We'll see you then.